All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Jared. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, good morning, Carlos, and good morning, YouTube. I'm doing fantastic. How are you, man?
All right, man. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I am. I tell you this. I am doing much better than any Patriot fans out there, including my
Mm.
good buddy John. John is probably not happy today with yesterday's performance. I mean, if you're a Patriots fan, you are not happy at all. They didn't show up. These guys,
No, no.
where were they? It was just like Seahawks exhibition time on defense. I mean, just unbelievable, man.
To be frank, the entire game was so slow. I mean,
It
even if you're a
was.
Seahawks fan, I think you're a little disappointed. No touchdowns in the first half, and
Yeah.
carrying what four field goals into the first half. Just a very slow
Yeah.
start. And I'm glad it picked up near the tail end, but I'll be honest, I was falling asleep near the
It
second half.
was it
I was
was
doing other
slow.
things.
And it messed up. It messed up my box pool, man. Like the numbers just didn't
Mm,
move. Like,
yeah.
just get moving, do something and just yeah. It's so bad, so bad. So yep. So congrats to those that were going for Seahawks and so sorry for those that were going for the Patriots. All right, friends, let's take a quick look here at our gappers list brought to you by tradingterminal.com. And as you can see here, we got a bunch of stuff in the green this morning and some more in the red. Some of our usual suspects continue to appear in this list. You got a hood on here. You got some of the crypto stuff on deck, and then towards the downside, you also have usual suspects. Rigetti, SMCI coin, got some other ones on here as well. So we'll dive into all that. I got some big ones, 44%, 21. HIMS is in big trouble here, and some other ones as well
Mm.
with some big double digits here for the gap down. All right, before we jump into that, Jab, I'm not sure if they showed you how to update this list here, but this is our U.S. economic calendar. I'm not sure if that's updated though. But
No,
what?
no, I
Yeah.
wasn't given the keys to the kingdom this time. So
No
what I'll
worries.
do though is just kind of read off the trading terminal economic calendar.
Yeah, that
Um,
works.
we do have, I would say, low impact items today. CB employment trends for January and wholesale inventories month on month, and that's both coming out at 10 o'clock. Consumer inflation expectations for January and some follow-up 6 month and 3 month bill auctions, all low impact stuff occurring at 11 and 11:30 respectively. Some Fed speech later this afternoon. If you happen to be trading in the afternoon session, we have Fed Waller and Fed Bostic speeches coming up later this afternoon. Those are a little bit more impactful and can have some order flow that's worth taking advantage of. So I'd at least be on deck for those. It would only really concern someone who's trading in the afternoon.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that, friends. Thanks, Jared. All right, let's kick it off here. So we'll start with the first couple, and then we'll jump to some big news. Like I know NVO's got some stuff going on. I don't know if we have any big earnings today. I didn't look at the list. I mean, it's so funny, Jared. Everybody could tell everybody's off today, right? I went to drop off the kids, and the roads are clean. This must be the one day that you either plan to be off or you're calling out and making people pissed at the office because you can tell it's a late morning for everyone, staying a little bit later watching the game here. Um,
My my
yep.
gym was actually noteworthily like lower in attendance, so
Oh,
even people
I
are
didn't go to.
not recovering.
I'm sure I didn't go to the gym this morning. I go every morning. This morning, I'm like, it's not gonna happen. A couple of beers in last night. I'm like, yeah, 4:30 is not gonna work today. So we'll be back at it later. Let's take a look at the first one here. VAL, my friends, we are up a whopping 21% this morning. 313,000 shares traded. It is a low, not a low float. Lowish. It's 56 million, so it's not that bad. But we are getting a decent pop here with very little volume. For the most part, if you look at the daily, they don't get a whole lot of great volume to begin with, so they're very light here. 1.5 seems to be like the highest in a couple of days and lower. So not a big fan of what I'm seeing here as far as the daily, but clearly, Jared, pre-market action looking interesting today.
Yeah, looking at the news here, looks like there's more recent news actually. Transocean to acquire Valaris in a $5.8 billion deal. And what's ironic is the price action isn't suggesting any sort of acquisition. Kind of wondering if it's like a multi-stage set of news, both for the gap up and for the acquisition itself. But that appears to be the main item that I'm spotting as far as news is concerned. So looks like a acquisition deal for this one.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll leave this one alone. I don't like the setup here. And just not sure how well that's going to trade. Next on here, brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. We do have MNTS. So MMTX is next here. And let's see what's going on with MNTX. This is momentous. We're up 15% this morning. 7.8 million shares traded. Look at the madness from $8 all the way to $9.35, right back down to $7. So it's kind of jumping all over the place. Clearly some news breaking out now at 8 a.m. here, Jared. Is there any earnings or anything major?
This appears to be a space stock, and we do have a couple of space-related names on our watch list this morning. Kind of
Mm.
looking at maybe like a catalyst across the board, maybe
Oh yeah,
some
we do.
highlights from um, our White House. So trying to see if there's anything specific to this name. It does appear to be sort of a wider catalyst across the board, so that might be carrying a couple of boats right now.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't know these space companies, Jared. Let me know. Do you look at them? Do you trade them? I'm not a big fan of them. Um,
There are a few. I think anytime I'm looking at specific names to add to watch lists that I'm going to trade more and more throughout the week, I usually want to see if they carry good volume and if they have relatively, I'll say, well-behaving market makers who can carry the price, from dollar to dollar. Um, Notable names are going to be stocks like ASTS, Rocket Lab, RKLB, and occasionally we would see SPCE or LUNR, Lunar. I know Lunar was showing up in our gappers list this morning, and with MNTS, I'm also seeing Momentous and NASA partnering under the Space Act Agreement to advance in-orbit servicing, rendezvous, and proximity operations. So this is actually a specific catalyst for the name, might actually be in play, given that this is fresh news. So I
yeah,
think that could carry across a couple names, maybe just a Monday hype across the space stocks.
yeah. I do see Lunar is also on here. LUNR, which is another one that tends to be up here as well. But again, pick your favorites. Usually, I don't like to trade these, but if you are gonna look at one, MNTS, excuse me, seems to be in play. I gotta say, it's
Yeah.
very active. Float on this, it's tiny, less than a million shares float, so you gotta be careful with it. But it's clearly getting all the action this morning with 8.1 million shares traded. So you know what? I'm gonna put this in my
Yeah.
popcorn ticker. We got some
You, you
volume.
know, Carlos, we've actually traded this before. I've got some lines on my chart, which means
Mm,
we've had to have looked at it in the past. Maybe in
yeah.
January, first couple days of January, it looks like we had some momentum and an initial gap up. So seeing this news kind of brings that back into focus. I'll be looking for some similar play as we saw on January 5th. It's kind of a nice session to reference if we're gonna look at this one later for levels.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. It's funny. I do the same thing. Like I could tell I traded something if I have levels in it in the
Right.
past. I don't have levels on this one, but I could tell something made the list if the levels are sticking around there from previous days. Um, Guys, a spicy one. We'll keep it on there. Let's see what happens. I mean, wow, look at pre-market go here, man. This is
Mhm.
in play for sure. In play for sure. So let's come back to this one. All right. What else? VAL is another one. Let's take a look at VAL. We'll do two more. Then we'll hop around a little because I want to get to NVO and then some other good ones that are might be
Well,
lower on the list here.
yeah, we looked at VAL. It jumped down from the
Oh
highs
yeah,
to
we
the
did.
second
Yep.
highs.
I'm just looking at the daily, and yes, we did look at. Yeah, not a fan. All right, let's continue. QS is another one that we've seen plenty of times on here. QuantumScape, and they don't trade very well today. They're up 11.3, 1.6 million shares traded. Another one that gets very light volume. And even the pre-market, you can see it is again, it's up, but it's not that clean. Again, that could change at the market open, could be a great one. But the few times I looked at this one pre-market, I don't like it, and I end up not putting it on the list. Jared, any reason why we should?
I was seeing a little bit of news more over the weekend, which would account for the gap up. QuantumScape inaugurates EcoLine to accelerate solid-state battery production for EV industry. It's sort of related to some news that came out prior, and maybe this is just kind of confirming that things are going well. The production is obviously on track. Market, with a gap up open, kind of rewarding that. But like always, I want to see if this kind of has any follow through as of this morning because it's known news and maybe just an in line sort of report, not necessarily a surprise. So.
Yeah, yeah. I'll keep it off for now, and then we can always come back to if you guys see something great. Definitely let us know. Let's do the next two. I like STM and NVO, and then we'll hop around here. Let's look at STM this morning. This is ST Microelectronics, and these guys are up 8%, 823,000 shares traded. They have been on our list plenty of times before. Today, you can see the nice move up above a lot of area resistance around 30 and making their way to recent highs back in June and July was the last time they were hanging out up here. So nice pop for them. There's funny, their daily even looks a little bit, I don't know if they're foreign or not, but you can tell how small their dailies usually are. Usually you see that from stocks like Baba or any overseas type
Yep.
companies. Are they overseas, Jared? They might be. I don't know what they
E-
do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which country, but anytime I see ADR on the stock name, that
Mm-hmm.
immediately points to an American depository. I forget the R. The
Yeah.
ADR just kind of symbolizes that it's being listed on this exchange, but it's also potentially listed on another exchange. So
Yeah,
definitely
gotcha.
more.
Yeah, I don't like it. Any news that might be worthy today?
There is a lot of news regarding their collaboration with Amazon Web Services. So this is going to be related to Amazon and AWS. There was some news prior to this regarding, the talkings of this collaboration. This is more an expansion of their continual collaboration work, and it's a multi-billion dollar deal with AWS. So I think it's just kind of solidifying that this company sort of has a growth metric in focus right now and backing with a well-known and obviously well-established cloud service as AWS.
Crap, man. I love that news. I love that
It's not
catalyst. Don't love
bad.
the
It's
stock,
not
but
bad.
man, you start talking about Amazon, Nvidia, these big names, and you're gonna get yourself on this secondary list at least. So I am gonna put it
Mhm.
on here. That's a big catalyst. We just got to see how is it going to trade when the big volume comes in. Again, they normally don't trade very well, but a catalyst like that, we got to watch this one. All right, and then one that's been well, my list keeps hopping around here. Now we got NVO moving lower, but I want to go to NVO because man, they are all over the news last week, this morning. I mean, there's so much happening with them and also HIMS. They also, I don't know if you saw it, Jai. They had a commercial, which I was surprised to see a commercial
Yeah.
for Wegovy in the halftime show. I'm like, wow,
I saw that.
they're going all in on this drug, man. They're going all in, 10 toes down. So yeah, MVO today is gapping up 5.1, 1.5. Hams, of course, taking another beating, down 21%, right? A lot of related stuff there. So fill us in on what's going on, latest and greatest.
I think you kind of nailed it. Not only do we have some, I would say, Super Bowl exposure, which I think could be a general catalyst for any companies that were presented in the commercials for the Super Bowl. But we also have the relationship between other companies providing basically the Ozempic uh, G is it GLP-1, I think is
Uh,
the kind
yeah,
of.
GOP dash, yeah, GOP that one. That's one, yeah.
Yeah, I've got too many acronyms with stocks. I can't remember the drugs too. But the relationship there is just with HIMS being down and that news obviously being pretty standout, the legality of what they're doing and being called into question by the FDA. Comparing that with NVO, just having a more stable foothold in it, you could see just money flowing into this and moving away from a stock like HIMS. So it's sort of this maybe 1-2 punch of exposure with consumers and money flow relationships with a competitor. So I think that alone would be the main driver this morning.
Yeah, so I like them today. How well they're going to try, I'm not sure, but I think given the news, I'm definitely going to add them to our list here. So NVO going on my primary, as so as HIMS. I mean, HIMS is down on the opposite of just this news overall. With the FDA and everything else. I even saw something very early this morning about NVO even suing HIMS. So they're going even a step further here. So it's getting out of control, and you can see
Yeah.
here these guys are down 21%. I'm looking at HIMS now. The reason why I'm
Mhm.
adding that one on there because again, it's all part of the same situation. Um, all right, let me stop here, Jared. What else do you like on the gap down list that you have looked at that you're gonna have on your on this morning? Also, give us. I know a lot of people on YouTube don't get to see you. By the way, Jared does the engineering the markets every Monday through Thursday in the
Yep.
chat room with our members. So the members in the chat room are very familiar with Jared and the way he prepares. But give people that don't get to see you every day a quick summary of what you do to prepare in the morning and some of the stuff that you might be having this morning based on that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just start with like some of my initial prep. Engineering the markets in the chat room helps me a little bit. I usually look at the S&P and some of the futures products, kind of get a sense of how they're opening, if there's any initial ranges I want to be considering for maybe taking like a support and resistance type of opportunity, but also just kind of gauging how the market traded last week. Because as day traders, we often forget that a lot of our trade is contextual. We're trying to figure out how we're positioned from the week ahead or the week before into the week ahead, and really just seeing if there's any levels that we can test throughout the week. I usually like to look at just the highs and the lows, but sometimes there's these little nuanced areas that kind of catch my eye as well. Once I have all that kind of marked up and a game plan together, I start looking at the stocks. If it's going to be mag stocks or typical names, I want to make sure that those are in either differing locations. If the market's flat, maybe one of these stocks is way down, you kind of throw a question mark on it. Either it's going to expand further or it's going to gap fill. And that distance is what we're trying to capture. Similar with relative strength, why would a stock be gapped up if the market's selling? That obviously just catches traders' attentions and eyes. So looking for, I would say, discrepancies is really what I'm looking for. The gappers help with that, but I often find that even amidst the gappers list, we're trying to find stuff that's going to continue to trade, not just have a price difference between, in this case, a Friday to a Monday. So I'm trying to combine, structural concepts, market supply and demand concepts, and the gappers are a way to kind of filter out some of the noise, but also to see if there's anything that truly disagrees with the overall market. And usually those are going to be some unique opportunities, bigger ranges typically.
All right, there you go. And again, you could catch Jared engineering the markets every Monday through Thursday over in our chat. It starts at 8 a.m. So if you're early bird, highly recommend you check that out. All right, Jared. So as far as this list on the gap upside, anything like I see
Mhm.
silver on here. Anything you want to go over?
The ones that stand out the most to me there were Oracle, ONDS, and then I saw like Hood and Wolf. Those are kind of okay, but I'd want to know specifically why some of those are gapped up, like an Oracle. That stock has been pretty heavily beaten down. Definitely anytime the market's been selling, Oracle's, well on its way lower. But these Friday lows and some of these gap ups from Friday, I think anything that's overly sold has the potential to rally really wide. And that's kind of the irony of Oracle right now. Doesn't appear to have direct news this morning. There's still discussion of the OpenAI risk that Oracle's carrying and just whether they can kind of satisfy the debt that they've taken on this past year and a half. But also technically, the most beaten up stock, if everything recovers, it's just distance. The price distance on this thing is pretty wide. So that one's going to be kind of one to pay attention to.
Yeah, I like the pre-market action too on this one. We missed this one earlier, but 1.3 million, up 4.8.
Mm.
And it's funny because Oracle's not usually a name that we keep on the list, but lately it has been trading much different than what it used to be. I mean, it is a player for sure. It's no
Yep.
question. And we started noticing a lot here when they had this gap up. Even before they were trading well, but when this big gap up occurred, that's when a lot of us, myself included, started putting it more on the radar, right? You can see it here this morning. This pre-market activity looks good, like the volume. Yeah, gonna add Oracle today. So let's put that right on here.
Then
Oracle.
I was I was kind of looking at stocks like ONDS. We saw some selling last week. It kind of hit high beta names, high flyers were hit a little bit harder. But in the same way, that recovery on Friday, high flyers who recover also have the biggest snapbacks. So I think ONDS kind of falls into that category. It's got a really nice kind of push right now up above 10 in pre-market. And I'm seeing more defense contracting, they're securing more deals. It's a 30 million multi-year program that was secured this morning as far as news. So I think fundamentally this one's still in the limelight. It's just that it's a high beta name. So when it sells, it sells a lot. So, probably similar to Oracle, looking for a big snapback on this one, trying to basically continue the Friday rally for both of those.
Yeah, ONDS is starting to again be more active. See the volume here coming up, and again they already made as high as 15, 25 ish area. So not a not a strain to get up there if it wants to go. I'll put it on my secondary list, and we'll see where it goes. I know some people are happy with this move right now because I know they're
Yeah.
swinging it. A couple of swing
We,
long term. Are you in that too, Jay? Are you in the long term train on this one? What's happening?
No, no, I haven't started a position on this one. I know we've got Megan on our mod team, and then a couple of
Yeah.
the community members are definitely watching this one carefully. So I think what's important to see is like the pullbacks are either going to be key buying opportunities to keep adding to the position, and more importantly, we're going to try and see if there's like these major trend shifts that can get it back into that all-time high sort of full court press type of mode. Because everybody's looking for anything above 16. That would be an all-time high breakout.
Mm, yeah, that would definitely be something. Um,
Hmm.
All right, friends, there we have it. So far, Gappers list got NVO, HIMS, and Oracle, all three looking really nice. All of them with some catalyst behind it. So looking forward to see how that's going to play out. Let's see what's gapping down today. We got KD down 54%. So wow, who is getting fired? I mean, this is just taking it's a bloodbath right now. 3.1 million shares traded. Typically a stock that doesn't get a lot of volume, doesn't trade well. Today, just pre-market alone, they have as much volume as they trade on a regular day. So clearly in play this morning. Jared, who screwed up here? Who's getting fired?
Well, this is an earnings drop, so the reason for it is earnings. Looks as if the CFO is leaving amidst accounting reviews, which is a big
Mm,
red flag in any unproven stock like a Kyndryl Holdings. But a little bit of relationship with, I mean, it's a biotech name, and seeing the earnings outlook get cut, accounting review issue, and then a CFO leaving, that's a three punches in the gut. All three of them leading to 10%
yeah,
down. So
that
big
can.
drop.
Oh, man, can you add any more to that fire? It's just insane. All right. As far as the stock itself, do you like it? You're going to trade it? I mean, I know it's moving now. Big news on it. What do you think after the bell we're going to get here?
With such a large drop, and in fact it's moving to like $10 a share, I need to see something pretty clear at a key price. Probably 10, maybe 10 flushes and then a slight recovery. I'd be cautious on any rebound, but to short it at these levels, I'd have to be risking, you know, a couple of bucks. And knowing that the stock made lows in the sevens back in October of 2022 doesn't leave a lot of meat on the bone. So um, probably like a one-off, it would have to just flush out a price and then be unable to continue selling, which would lead to balance, not necessarily a rally, but stopping the bleed, at least in the short term.
Yeah. I want to see what happens. Even if we don't end up trading it, I want to see what takes place here after the bell. But usually we've seen a lot where, the big move happens pre-market, market open, it just goes sideways as people are trying to figure out what's next. Is there a bounce here? Have we oversold? If the market thinks it's really bad, then yeah, it can go lower. So careful in trying to
Sure.
catch a reversal here. The float on this one is 225, so it's massive. So it's not a low float ticker by any means. All right, I'll put on a popcorn ticker here next. Let's see what we get out of it, KD. All right, let's continue, friends. Gappers is brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. Next is PGY. So PGY this morning also down pretty big, 22% here, 2.9 million shares traded. You can see the drop there. It looks like at first they were above previous day close. Something, probably earnings, Jared, I'm assuming.
hmm
Something happened, 655, right? You get the drop here. Now people are reacting to the information being released this morning.
Yeah, it looks as if they posted Q4 and full year 2025 results as of this morning. Revenue looks to be on the increase, 26% year-on-year increase, and net income looking to be in line. Probably their guidance issued might not be as like rich in premium as compared to the price that it was, so we're kind of viewing it as a drop, but not necessarily seeing bad news, just a market that's kind of repricing this back to maybe reasonable levels for the following year. So,
Gotcha. So there it is, friends. I'm probably not gonna have this one on deck, but you guys can take a look at it if you like it. It is in play for sure. One that we just kind of spoke about already, clearly in play, guys, is HIMS. Continues to make, just hanging out here, not really making a new low, but it is definitely testing it right now. It's down to 1798, and we're just hanging out there to see what's next. So down 21%, tons of volume as you would expect, and they just, if you look at the overall picture, man, they have not been having a good time since October. They just announced this news last week and it just blew up in their face. And now they're just going lower. So they just they had a little wound here, was bleeding out, and now they just teared up the whole thing. Now they got like the size of a golf ball with gushing out here. This is just not good. Jerry, anything else you want to add to this one? I know we kind of spoke about it a little bit, but anything else in regards to him itself?
no, I think we covered it all. FDA is cracking down on their semaglutide pill offering. There's mention that they even had a commercial during the Super Bowl, of which I did not catch.
I
But
thought I saw something, but it
mhm,
was either later or earlier. I can't remember the commercial, but it was something about it. It was not about the drug itself though. It was about like provide. Oh yeah,
uh,
it was about providing health. Like not only the rich people can get any kind of health, like you can get it too through HIMS, like personal care. But it wasn't really focused on
mm,
like the way NVO did their Wegovy. It was subtle, but yeah, they did have a commercial out there as well.
gotcha, gotcha.
Hopefully,
And apparently
hopefully they
that
pay
that's
for that
raising
in
some.
advance. Hopefully they pay for that in advance.
uh,
They might not have the money now.
so they can offer some secondary offerings to the market to raise that money. But yeah, some reliability questions with their new cancer test. It's really all about the FDA kind of enforcing whether or not their weight loss offering is valid, and that type of uncertainty, that's a huge driver for their growth. So um, definitely going to be a volatile name today. I wouldn't necessarily, kind of like we often do, a gap down doesn't mean we short it. It's one of those names where the news might be getting priced in, and this could be the final day or two where it's at the right levels. That could still result in some pretty decent snapbacks. And, just kind of looking at where it's trading this morning, we're in like deeper lows from last year. So that's kind of where I'd expect things to settle out, even though the news is still cycling as being bad. it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to move down throughout the day.
Yeah, yeah, be very, very careful, guys. And even if it wants to head lower, we've seen things just rip your face off and then head lower the next day. So
Right.
clearly, this is possible. All right, gappers list friends. What else? We covered the top few here. Monday.com, I think this is MNDY. It is Monday.com. We see these guys 4 times a year, and this might be one of them. It's when they have earnings. So they're down here this morning 18%,
Mhm.
815,000 shares traded. And unlike other names that I love every earnings season, like Starbucks and some other ones I can trade very well, this is not one of them
No.
for me. So I like the numbers, but I don't like the way they trade after that bell rings. So, Jared, your thoughts on it? And have you had any success with this one?
No, no, this is not one that I typically look at. It is an earnings sell-off or gap down. Cautious outlook into 2026. It's also kind of wrapped up in the weakness of the software players this year. I don't know if you've looked at some of the software names, but most of these stocks are down 20, 30, 40% year to date, which is starting at the beginning of January, which is significant. Just seeing a lot of weakness, typically highlighted with the relationship of how AI is kind of taking over their moat as far as their business is concerned. So this one has some of those elements, and the earnings apparently didn't quell the investor spirit. So we're seeing it down.
Yeah, not good for them. And again, typically one that does not trade very well, so I won't have it on my list. But if it fits your profile and what you're looking for based off your trade book, put it on there. All right, let's do one more and then we'll hop around here. SMX. Didn't we see this last week? No, I'm confusing with something else. Or maybe. Yeah, we did. It did. We did. This is one that was moving well into Friday. I didn't really watch or trade it, but it was on our list, I believe, on our gappers list or our scanners later in the day. So they have a big day on Friday, trying to continue today, but today they're down 11.6. Hard to borrow on it. So again, the fun might be over on this one. It's also a low flow, sitting at 8.7 million shares flow. So be careful on it. And then we interact the brokers. We can short it. So typically, I don't like stocks that I cannot short. I want to be able to trade this both way and look at it, without having a bias. Once you have a stock that you can short, let's say your broker, in this case, Interact the Brokers for us, does not have shares for sure. If you're looking at it, you're only going to be looking at it to go long. Like, it's just in the back of your mind, hey, I can't take it short, so you're going to force yourself into a
Yeah.
paradigm or some kind of box that you don't might not want to be in. So I don't like it for those reasons. Jared, big day on Friday for them. Pulling back a bit here. I don't see anything too major on it.
No, nothing new compared to news from Friday. It's still a company expansion of capital runway. It's sort of a ELOC agreement. Um, it's all just carryover from Friday, and the gap down is just related to the high close that we saw with that huge sort of low end rally. So nothing new.
All right, and you here. All right, let's stop here. I see some tech companies. I see Bitcoin. Jared, anything you like that maybe we haven't covered on the gap downside?
Um, I mean, there are names that I definitely enjoy trading for sure. MSTR, huge recovery after earnings on Friday. Basically, a picture perfect kind of trend reversal compared to Thursday. Just seeing a 1 day sell off right into earnings, and then the Friday covering all that up and even offering a little bit higher. Selling off this morning, so we're probably going to see some inside trade on a lot of these gap downs because we're relating it to a larger Friday rally. But that volatility kind of surging back into this name, I think eventually we will start seeing some continuation plays. And might not be today, but I'm definitely going to keep this one on watch throughout the week. Basically trying to move it back up to about 150 post earnings.
All right,
The other one that I saw, maybe MU. I really, really like SNDK and MU, Western Digital, and Seagate all fit into the memory chip names. MU being down this morning, did we see an all-time high get made last week or the week before? Is that the high that's going to define the rest of the year for this stock? I'm not sure, but it's quite parabolic up there, and we're basically just seeing it kind of sell off since then. So might need to come out of this I would say sloppy trading range, but the size of the movement on this one, it's a day trader's, dream. There's so much volatility here to take advantage of. So I would keep this one on list just in case it hits one of the edges and maybe taking advantage of that.
All right, there you go.
But,
Um,
yeah.
I do like MU. It's hard to trade, man. I find it hard to trade, but uh,
In that challenge comes
yeah,
opportunity, Carlos, and
I
that's where the
agree.
real truth is. You have
Agree,
to
man.
almost kind of practice, it's these higher
Yeah,
volatility, maybe like
yeah.
giving it more room on the entry, but once you get the direction right, the flow is what you're after, and it's big, big
It
flow.
can have a big payout, man. We've seen the MU trade
Hmm.
very, very well. I already give slight, bigger stops more than well, compared to Peter. Peter's stops are
Hmm.
very, very tight. But this requires even more. So it's kind of you got to get out of your comfort zone. Really do. You got it. Suddenly put it. You got to
Yeah,
get out of your
yeah,
comfort zone, and it's not easier said than done. But I will add MU
I
here.
agree.
I will have a backup, whether it's NVIDIA or AMD. AMD has been trading a little bit better the last week or so. It's been brutal. Besides, you could tell right here on the daily too.
Mhm.
Like you could tell when they started trading much much better when this had the sell off recovery on Friday. But then before that, you could see how many days it's very wicky,
Yeah,
very choppy.
I
And some of the bigger moves are not happening in the morning for me, right? They're happening after 12, after 1. They settle down and they take a run. But the morning looks even worse than what this daily is actually showing. So that's been a challenge. We'll have to see what today brings as far as the market open in the morning session. And I'm in between AMD and NVIDIA. I'll add both here. I'm not going to watch all these three. It's just too tech heavy, too
yeah.
semis heavy to be specific. But I'm going to put them on here for now, and then I'll make a decision a little bit later, closer to the market open. All right. Anything else, Jerry, before we go to the chat and see what they like?
The only thing I would say is just kind of reminiscing on any other ads that were provided during the Super Bowl, because any of those stocks could have a little bit of Monday sympathy as we get maybe some potential retail flow or just new money buying of names that really were only just advertised, for that kind of wider audience. I'm thinking of maybe like a DoorDash. I know that was mentioned once or twice. I'm also thinking of Coin, which had that almost kind of retro advertisement. I don't know if
Oh
you
yeah, that was
remember.
good. Yeah, with the
Yeah,
Backstreet Boys. Yeah, that was good. I was
yeah.
like,
I was
wow,
like,
this is taking us back.
I, I was trying my best to figure out what company would be advertising like this and how it was going to transition. But it never really got more modern. It just was a slideshow with
Yeah,
Backstreet Boys playing and Coinbase
that
barely
that
advertised.
had to be that literally. I wanted the cost to make that commercial. They probably did it on like
Hmm.
a PC. I mean, that was the cheapest commercial to make. And it had a big effect. It really did because you were waiting for it. Who the hell
Yeah.
is this? There's no logo at the bottom. There's nothing. It's just words and singing. And I was not at a party myself. I was home. My sister-in-law was at a party, and she said everybody just went wild singing the words. So it really worked for them.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
In a sea of ads that mostly get forgotten, if you can make any standout, even if it's done in a kind of retro way or just a simplistic way, whoever you're talking about the next day tends to be the winner. So, I remember the Mayo commercial with Andy Samberg just because it was funny and a little different. And then the
Yeah.
Coinbase commercial is obviously a standout. So. There are winners, but it might not be who you expect. The advertising budget might have been a little too low on that one.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Um, all right, friends. I think we are all set. Let's go to you guys and see what you
mhm.
guys like this morning. Um, let me see. Can I do this? Actually, let's do. I want to do a poll. I want to do a poll to see which commercial. I just picked top four that ChatGPT gave me. I do have my favorite in here. That I think was the funniest one. I'll say it after. Let's see if you guys agreed. But there's the poll. Which question is, here you go. Which Super Bowl commercial ad was the best? Pepsi, Budweiser, Amazon, and Pokemon. So I had ChatGPT pick the top four, and those what it came back with. So pick your favorites there. I have one that made me laugh so hard, man. I'm like, wow, this is good. So we'll see. Now, overall, I don't think we've seen better Super Bowl ads in the past. This was
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
This was not nowhere near what they've done in the past. It was like,
It
okay, but it
it
didn't blow
wasn't
me away,
bad.
man. It wasn't
Yeah, it
bad, but
wasn't bad to any degree. I think these are going to be forgettable
yeah,
commercials, and there's maybe one or two that might, stand the test of time a little bit.
yeah,
But
yeah. We seen better for sure. All right, let's take a look, friend. What you guys like this morning? We'll look in our chat, then we'll look over on YouTube. We'll look on our X as well. And we'll see what you guys like. CoreWeave. Let's start there. Javier, you like CoreWeave this morning, and we have been looking at CoreWeave for quite some time. CoreWeave, CR. WV. There it is. Type that correctly. And yeah, Friday, they had a big day on Friday. As you can see here, traded very well. We did, I believe, I want to say we had it on the list, but I don't recall 100%. I know we've been watching it more frequently lately. Today, tons of volume. Might be worth watching this morning. I have a lot on
I,
my list already, but this one might be worth watching.
I'd see how it responds with NVIDIA. Those two stocks are so tightly correlated, especially in big volatility days. And watching CoreWeave this morning, I see that there's some support near 87.50. Pre-market high is 92.50. 90 is going to be a spot to like cover. So it's not in a great place to trade at this exact moment, but I see a range. And when the edges are clear, you're kind of just waiting for one of those edges to get tested so you can maybe take it back. So there's definitely some movement there that I think would be worth considering. Might not be a trend, but a big range is just as good for an intraday trader.
Yeah, I do like it as well. And again, it's been trading very, very nice. I'm gonna put it on the secondary here. I have a lot of stuff that I'm probably gonna remove off the secondary when we get closer to the open. So on the secondary list for now, thank you, Javier. That's a good one. QS, didn't we look at that one?
Hmm.
QS, we did. I personally don't like it. It's gapping up today. It's in play. I seen a gap up before and not trade well for me. So again, I'm keeping it
Yeah.
off my list. But if you like it, this is going to become now more of a preference, right? It's in play, no question. But it becomes more of a preference, if you want to have it on your list or not. I personally, man, I think I could find something better. But again, maybe have had a good success in the past with it, right? So
Hmm.
take keep it on the list. Let's see here. CoreWeave. We have Coin. Yeah, how is Coin doing after a Coin commercial? uh,
I mean,
if people if people remember, So I don't know here. Let's see. They're down. They're down three
yeah, they're
percent.
down.
That's
So
not good.
it's not working.
Not working. Not working. Got to had to spend a little more on that budget, my friend. But there it is. Coin down this morning. But Coin, Hood, they all been in play given the volatility of crypto going down to 60 something. Are they back up? I haven't looked at them this morning, so I don't know where they're
Yeah,
at.
and I think that's worth considering. I mean, we did
Yeah.
see one of the biggest, I would say, corrections in Bitcoin and across the crypto market last week. Bitcoin did basically hit 60,000 before rebounding, and really when I see that type of movement, it keys me in that that market has a lot more volatility than average. Whether
Hmm.
it's bullish or bearish is just picking the day. Thursday was pretty red. Friday felt like the skies were lifted, and stocks like MSTR really benefit from that kind of volatility, or Mara, any of the Bitcoin miners would have seen some recovery. It's mostly just seeing if that volatility subsides going into this week. Because with lowered volatility, you just won't get the same action as you did. And those moments might become just, footprints of old trades. So just kind of be careful with that, but definitely volatility in crypto stocks. It's worth considering.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Good shout out to our buddy here, Jay Burns, who just joined Lambos and Garbage Truck. So welcome to the Lambos and
Welcome.
Garbage Truck family, and good luck a little bit later as we give away another funded account. So far, I have 33 we've given away so far, right? So every day we're giving one out for our Lambos and Garbage Truck family. So stay tuned for that. And it's funny, a lot of the people that are winning, a lot of people that are winning already have an account. Like, oh, I have one now. They have bought one already. So it's like they're gonna sit on the code until they finish that account. They can do it again. But I hope that you don't let that code be a reason to get loosey, lose on your current account. So trade it well and definitely try to perform at your best there. All right, friends. My list so far: NVO, HIMS, Oracle, MU, AMD, and NVIDIA. I'm not going to keep those three. We're going to fine tune that a little bit. Maybe I'll drop one. And then I got some stuff on the secondary list. We'll have to stop here. One more. PLTR, because I know you guys like PLTR. Let's take a look. PLTR. It's got some volume. Yeah, not doing much. It's been amazing. Last week was incredible. So could be one on the radar. I'm not going to add it. I like what I have a little bit better. But if you guys see something great on this one, let us know,
I see an inverse head and shoulders starting to form. I know it's been pretty bearish, but if I want to take it long, give me over 140 with some volume, and it'll be a clear breakout. Otherwise, might be in the doldrums, might be a little boring.
Yeah, we'll keep it off for now. All right, friends, let's head over to bearwithtraders.com. If you click on webinars, we can tell you what's happening for this beautiful after Super Bowl Monday. And here it is. Jai will take you through it and then tell you how you can join our family at Bear with Traders if you like.
Right. Get my screen to where I can read it here. Okay. So every Monday, we've got our visualizing order map in real time with Nathan in the webinar room. It's going to be at 12 Eastern. So feel free to join us if you're part of the BBT community and elite member. We've also got our newest offering, which is a sort of a Monday webinar and mentorship type. It's a Smart Money Trades with Gary every Monday at 2 Eastern. So he's going to help you identify some open interest nodes in stocks and the overall market. Kind of helps us get a sense of targets and range capability, which is very useful for us. New members onboarding, of course, every Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern, and you're carrying the load on that one, Carlos. So
yeah.
I guess salute to you for doing that. I know that's a lot of work to kind of keep up, but let's see what else we got. As we move lower, we've got our Valentine's Day sale. So 50% off. Hearts in the chat for the elite annual membership. Feel free to use code LOVE50 and then choice between different membership types. Obviously, kind of looking at our most popular, our elite annual with our code LOVE50, you get 50% off. So feel free to explore BBT and come join us, learn how we take advantage of the markets every single day, and kind of learn a little bit about what we do even further in the community itself.
All right, there we go. Thank you, Jared. Jared, you're getting a lot of love in the chat. You have some people that are considering now coming back. They didn't renew their BBT membership. They're like, I didn't renew my membership, but I do miss Jared. And people are saying, yes, me too. Well, that's your reason to come on back. And what a great time to do it during the Love 50 discount.
Yeah. we gotta keep some of these gems in house, and
absolutely.
I guess I'm a
can't
gem
give
now.
everything away for free. I tell people, like, when we get these guests like yourself or somebody else, like, oh, they're great. Well, it's the reason why we keep them in there. We can't give everything out.
Can't give it all.
Exactly. All right, friends, let's get some levels in place here. Let's start with NVO this morning. So we'll get some levels for NVO right now. Again, good news for them as they're getting the courts and everything behind them, and the FDA and lawsuits, all that stuff working out for them. 51.06 is the high of the pre-market. The low is down at 49.85. And then if you look at the daily here, highs and lows for the last two trading days are a little bit towards the bottom, so you're not really hanging out there no more. So you're back up above all of this. Big range on last week from this 50 to all the way to 58.44. So it's got the potential to really get going. But before that, we do have some levels here on the daily, maybe not as major, but there is an area here at 52.34. And then right up here around 53.46 again. So little movement for them overall. But the last couple of days clearly increase in volume, creating a lot of momentum and movement with some heavy news behind it. So we'll see how this plays out today. As it's up 5.4 with 2 million shares traded. Here is HIMS. Here's the one that's not benefiting from all of this is HIMS. It will be in play today. We do have shares for short, although sitting on the SSR here, this morning with Interact the brokers. Well, actually, SSR is not a broker thing. I think that'll be with it's an exchange thing. So if you're new, that's going to be on every exchange. You're going to see SSR, right? That's done by the exchanges. So 1761 towards the top, we do have high of the pre-market at 1995. There it is, 1995. And then above that, highs and lows for the last two trading days on HIMS. HIMS has been taking a beating, as we mentioned earlier. So we're going to go back here. We haven't been down here since 2024. Just going to zoom in here and just pick off some levels if we can find something that's very clear. Right in here, we do have an area at 19. So it's a whole dollar number. So maybe psychological level as well. But then towards the bottom where we need some stuff is more important. We do have 1711 and then a nice big rejection here or support at 1608. Got a nice little bounce there. Some other days confirming that area as well. So I think that's good for him. Let's see what it does here. We have levels towards the top and the bottom. We are set on that one. Oracle looks good this morning, guys. Good pre-market action. Towards the top, high of the pre-market 150.49. Towards the bottom, you got the previous day close, but your low is at 142.23. Once you do that, highs and lows for the last two trading days down here are doing a great job. Towards the top, off the daily, we're going to mark down 153.80. And I think that's good for right now. We'll keep it there and see what Oracle does at the market open when the heavy volume comes in. Here's MU. Again, MU been trading so well. Not the easiest stock to trade. Be careful on your stop, as we mentioned earlier. You got to give it a lot of room on this one. Low of the pre-market 378.60. And then the high of the pre-market just between the highs and lows of the last two trading days, previous day close. You got a lot going on here, as you can see. But your high is 392.50, which I am going to mark down. And in case we get breakthrough that, the big level clearly is here, right around this area, right? And when I put 114.47, it's going to cover the top part here and the bottom, right? You got these wicks at the bottom here. So this is just this area overall. So you could even shade this. You could do that with Dash Trader Pro. You could shade this entire area. We get up there and you just use that as an area, not an actual specific number. But there it is, 414.47. And then towards the bottom here, we do have another, not a major level, 404. Again, could be actually 405, a whole dollar there, but you do got some days opening, closing right around that area. All right, so that is MU, pretty set there. I have AMD. Might as well do levels for all of these, but again, I can't watch all of them. I'll make some changes. AMD, high of the pre-market, we're looking at 209.85, so we'll slam one there. Towards the bottom, you're set. Highs and lows for the last two trading days. Look at the high from Thursday, the low from today. As far as pre-market goes, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And then towards the top, we got some really nice levels. Look at this area here. I like this one, 213.50. And then just one more, just in case. I mean, I don't think we're doing that today, but who knows? 218.86 in case we do really turn on the jets here. NVIDIA, no, not coin. NVIDIA, big day on Friday. Low of the pre-market this morning, sitting at 182.83. And the high is basically right on the previous day close, 185.43. Your previous day closed at 185.41, so we're not going to worry about that. And once you do that, you're set towards the top. Maybe one more here towards the middle. Right here, you got a lot of days, a lot of wicks slamming into this 179.98. Might actually be 180, but definitely mark that down there for NVIDIA. So there it is. We did levels for everything, and we'll fine tune what we're going to be watching a little bit later. Jared, give us a heads up on what our team is watching this morning.
All right. Yeah, we got our watch list coming in. First and foremost, we got Thor. His favorites are the futures, Ford/ES and RTY. It's got all the major indexes. Apple and NVIDIA as far as equities. Megan's watching CRWV, Microsoft, MSFT, and AMD. Brian, NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, cold, looking at natural gas as kind of a bigger picture short play. So he's long on cold, which I believe means he's short nat gas. Silver, SPY, and the NASDAQ. Andrew coming in with MSTR, Tesla, Silver, AMD, Coin, and NVIDIA. Brendan, Amazon, AMD, MSTR, and NVIDIA. And Phil with Google or Alphabet, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Silver. So a lot of mag stocks, a couple of our sort of noteworthy volatile names from last week. And we're still kind of carrying the silver trade over. I'm interested to see if there's some activity there, but metals have kind of calmed down recently, so a bit more range trading as of late. So that's the list.
Right. Excellent, friends. There we go. We will leave you in chat, friends, with Andrew and Brian trading live. If you guys want to join them, check out bearwithtraders.com. Again, we got that promo going. Love 50 gets you in 50% off. And I heard there is a complimentary funded account that you are going to get with this. So if you want to join, set that up there, and you're going to get a funded account as well, my friends. So take advantage of that. That is an amazing deal. Add $300 value to that. A lot of love. All right, friends. See Andrew setting up. Take care, guys. Trade safe. We'll continue on X and YouTube. All right. Beautiful thing.
All right.
Let's go mute the chat so I don't get confused. And we are set to go, friends. All right. How are we doing on our votes? Let's see what we have. Let's go to some real important stuff here. See what the channel is looking like. So we are loving the Budweiser commercial and the Alexa commercial. Yeah, those two were very good. My favorite was the Pepsi one. when they had the Jumbotron and the bear hugs the other bear from behind, making fun of the guy that got caught.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're never going to live that down. Now, that could have been made better if he was hugging like a Coca-Cola bear, because it's Pepsi and Pepsi. If you would have been hugging like the Santa Claus Coca-Cola, oh man, that would have been great. That would have hit the spot, but they didn't go that route. I guess they were trying to be a little conservative. But yeah, that was good. That's good. Put your votes in, friends. Let's see what you guys think. It was the best Super Bowl ad for yesterday.
I didn't mind the Alexa commercial. I thought it was at least
funny.
an attempt to be funny, and
yeah,
some of the scenarios were pretty clever. So I thought that was good.
Yeah, that was good. Fun. All right.
So
let's see
as far as opening drive kind of trades, kind of looking at CRWV initially. I do like that trading range it's in pre-market. But I was kind of mentioning this on engineering the markets. We weren't opening next to like an edge on anything. So now I need to figure out which way we're going to drive. If we're going to drive to the lower parts, I'm gonna have to be short initially, and then once we get to the lows, it could easily just reverse right back. So it's gonna be a tougher open right now, unless I find something kind of unique. Maybe HIMS too. It's already kind of bottoming out at 17.5. I kind of mentioned how that one. Maybe all the bad news is getting priced in, and the only thing left to do is maybe move it back up. We'll see. It's hard to keep selling into an SSR stock. It's sort of a natural condition. Once it's on SSR, no one can really sell into the bid any further. So the downside momentum tends to kind of be more challenging. So quick snapback on that. We'll see. But what do you like? What's your coup de grace this morning?
You know what? I am not like usually I have like, okay, this is the one that I'm watching front and center. I don't have one right now. But we got a lot of good opportunities, right? But I can't see one that like, oh, I love this one right now. So let's see. Let's see after that volume comes in. We'll get going.
Yeah. Friday was so wide, and I know I can't trust all those levels, but I do want to kind of look long first because Friday made the market kind of change direction.
Yeah.
After the Thursday selling, so I'm gonna at least keep that on watch.
Yeah, let's see, friends. It's gonna be interesting. I don't have anything I love. We need to talk about Tesla today. What's Tesla doing? Not much. Not much right now. So, all right, friends. 10 seconds to the market open. What are we in negative gamma or positive gamma? That's more a question for Jared. He can answer that right after the bell here. So, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. There it is.
I can take a look.
Oh,
see if
NVIDIA.
Any of our morning trade setups.
NVIDIA doing some stuff into the green. Again, NVIDIA trading much better the last couple of days, so we're watching it closely. AMD going down, MU going the other way, going south.
Let's see. We're kind of opening under a hedge wall established by the short-term SPX traders, so that's a little bit more negative in appearance.
Mm.
Um, there's still some big magnet prices that are higher though, so that's opening in negative gamma territory, but not seeing the follow through is still kind of bullish for us, and I think we want to maybe pay attention to our first drive because we're near the wall, but we're not necessarily selling through just yet. Hmm.
AMD did push up. I'm sorry, Nvidia did push up, but pulled back a bit here. Oracle doing some stuff. HIMS very quiet. No volume
Yeah.
whatsoever. It is a nicely stock though, so the first couple of minutes you can
Hmm.
see it very light, but it is just
I'm waiting.
yeah, no volume
That's a
yet. So
that's
let's
that's
see.
a great point. Yeah, any NYSE stock, if I don't see movement in the first minute or two, it's because it hasn't actually turned on yet. So I don't
Yeah.
trust anything that hasn't really gotten volume. It can move
Yeah,
very
and I think
quickly.
I think it'll get the volume too because just everything around it, right? I think we should see some volume on this.
It's like our morning traders are scouting NVIDIA for continuation over previous day close,
Yeah, I like that
already
candle
buying
too.
long.
That's nice. That's a nice setup.
Yeah, got some room
Such a
until the Friday high, so it looks okay.
yeah,
Definitely a 1 minute orb setup. I see Andrew's already in that one.
yeah. See Andrew's in on that, looking for the pop. JC Trader, you're in. JC Trader 81 is long. Nvidia. I like that trade. Looks good. Looks very good.
Dang. Oracle also moving up. That one probably would have been a great initial
Oh,
trade.
let's go Nvidia. Nice, friends. Nice, nice, nice. I
Let's
didn't
see
take
our
it.
WBS.
87. Oh, baby. Good job. Who took that? Who took that trade? Did you take that, Jared? Nvidia?
No, so here's the thing, Carlos. I can't see the 1 minute. I don't have it on
Okay.
my chart anymore. So
Okay. You didn't even
unless
consider
the
it no
five
more.
minute is giving me a clear bias, what's that?
You don't consider the 1 minute. Like you don't look at it for trading decisions on.
I can't even see it. It's not even available for me to look at. If I
Yeah.
turn it on, I can't trade throughout the rest of the day. It's a no-no.
Okay. Okay.
Him just turned on, by the way.
Let's
But
see.
the reason for that is I'm looking for more bias towards the 30-minute chart, and the 5 minute is the first thing that kind of clues me in. So
Gotcha.
these 1 minute orbs, unfortunately, I can see the bar growing, but I can't really see like the pullback in them, and I just have to trust that it's working. So
Yeah. Gotcha.
one of the
Wow.
unfortunate parts of restriction.
Yeah. No. Hey, man. You gotta do what works. You gotta do what works over and
Hmm.
over again, and that's different for everyone, right? Hims here taking a
Exactly.
dive, friends. Really nice drop on Hims. Look at the volume just kick in.
Yeah.
Minute 4. A little bit later, usually minute 3. Here, 9:32, you get going, but this is 9:33, where you actually got 3.2 million shares. And now it's
Yeah.
on.
A lot of downside availability too. So
Wow.
if uh if the pullbacks are getting sold into, that could be an all-day bleed. And I would need to see a bigger change for any longs.
Yeah,
But
guys,
yeah, they
careful here.
turned on the volume and it went straight down. So
Wow. NVO
yeah,
is going the other way.
start to look at
NVO.
these rallies. I mean, they're hitting the top of our ranges here. See if there's any continuation or Maybe in 5 or 10 minutes we could be reversing. Let's see. Like CRWV, it rallied, but didn't really bust through with the same energy.
Yeah, I get a little of a pullback here. NVO could be good. I like NVO for a possible breakout. Atlas not giving us much, and not because it's Atlas, just because these stocks don't give a lot of data here. So let's see. It looks very balanced out on Atlas. So there's no edge on the supply and demand right now. I don't see it, at least on NVO. It looks pretty balanced out. So that indicator's not gonna can't put a lot of weight on that indicator. Not that it's wrong, just can't put a lot of weight on it. But if I look at the charts, man, I do like it for a possible breakout.
The RWV is setting up a decent 5 minute orb. I'm mostly making sure NVIDIA doesn't exhaust itself.
Oh, that looks good too. Yeah.
NVIDIA is surging though. I mean, it's already up $3 a share in the opening drive here. Yeah, I expect some sympathy here. CRWV has some orders all the way up to 93. Not really seeing a lot of downside bid. So a little anticipation here. Get long, maybe just shoot for 93 and see what happens.
Yeah, I might take this trade. I'm looking at Atlas. Yeah, I'm gonna go long CoreWeave. I like
Hmm.
CoreWeave long here. So yes, I'm long CoreWeave. I like Atlas too. You can see it looks a lot more bullish. Let's see if we can get the actual
Easy,
breakout here. Let's see
easy.
if we
Straight through 93.
let's see 94. Got some orders at 94.
Yeah. Just keep
Let's
checking the
see.
video too. Make sure I don't lose the
Yeah,
leader. Need
and
the leader
NVO
to
too. NVO might actually do
push
it,
him.
but again, they're probably might be a little bit slower. Oh,
Hmm.
let's go,
Oh yeah,
friends.
core weave 94.
I don't
Easy,
know how you trade
easy.
without without this. You cannot trade without this. It's just, what was I doing this entire time? I don't understand. But you cannot trade without Atlas. I mean, it is just. I'm sorry, we just can't. You got to sign up. It is so clean, man. Oh, love it, love it. All right, so
Yeah.
let's see if we continue. Um, got a parcel
All
at a
right.
dollar.
Yeah, I usually scale out dollar by dollar on these
Yeah,
because we're
because
basically
they can.
risking that we're risking
Mhm.
that pullback that we saw in the
Right,
5 minute. So
right.
it's already a 2R expansion, so take a little bit off here.
All right, let's
Uh,
see if we can continue here. I'm changing my kid's name to Atlas. That's good. That's good, JC Trader. I like it. I like it. All right, we're getting a little hesitant. Let's see. Still got
one
95. Still looks very bullish. Um,
one thing I do like to do is as I'm getting into positions, also double checking the option market because
mm,
even though it is a Monday, the options aren't as important for these stocks on Monday. Couple of exceptions now with the zero DTE names, but I want to see if there's volume coming into the stock sort of in an excited manner. And even if these positions are for Friday or maybe the market thinks it's going to go even further, I just need to make sure the target, which at this point is 95 on CRWV, I want to make sure that the calls are getting kind of some action. And
mm,
I do see volume there. Main thing is can our price get there, our price action. So,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, our 30-minute bar looks green. Our 5 minutes are green. You know, it's one of those trades where you do have to give it a chance, and if it wicks us down too much, we got our partial. So
Yep.
we'll look for another one after that plays out.
All right, let's see. This candle is important. Let's get up there. Come on. So Actually, it's not important,
And
but it'll be nice. I want it to break out. I'm making it important. It's not really
you want it
important.
fast. You
I want it
want it
fast. Yeah,
now.
I want it fast. Don't mind me
Look,
with this candle's important. What you mean this candle's important? Atlas is important by showing me wait till 95.
that's right.
That's important. And then we
Yeah,
have here,
95 is offering now, so
yeah. Let's see if we can get to it.
the only thing is, do
Oh,
we get trapped in like a 5 minute bar? That's gonna be
yeah,
annoying. So try and get a fill somewhere near the top, but
yeah. I
95
actually
is still
wanted
the target.
wanted to get 95.80 and I hesitated. I might take one now because we are seeing some bids coming at 94. So I'm gonna take some off.
Hmm.
Because if you look at Atlas, you're starting to see this build here, 94. I don't like that as much. I'm not saying we're gonna change direction, but we might come back down and fill this, and that's just we're 95, 94.50. Might as well take some off. Let's see. Let's see what ends up
Yeah.
happening. Well, we did get 95.80. I was slow on the trigger. We did get 95.80. I'm sorry, 94.80. When you're that
Yeah.
close, you take a partial. You take a
Yeah.
partial.
I
Try
ain't
to,
here to be perfect, Carlos. I'm
right.
here to have my entries be lower than my exits, and if
That's
I'm
it.
short, my entries higher than my exit. That's about it.
That's it. That's it.
Perfection is for those who believe that they can control the market. I'm here to make money.
Yeah. I dude, I trust me that hits home because a lot of people ask me, why are you partial so much? If you would have waited, yeah, but you know what? This is how I'm consistent. I'm consistent by parceling the heck
Yeah,
out of the move. Sometimes it'll come right back down here, and I guess well, we made our move already. But yes,
yeah,
it
exactly.
sucks when it goes to 98 and I already taken five partials. Yeah, it sucks, but you know, like you say, I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to take my
In
little scoop and just scoop a little bit off the top, and the
yeah,
market could do whatever it wants after that. If you start getting
I
greedy and you start putting that scoop all the way in, you're gonna get caught or you're gonna break the scoop. You don't want to break the scoop. The scoop is what gives
don't
you the
break
money,
this.
right? Don't break the scoop.
Can we get
Oh,
hashtag don't break the scoop in the chat? Is that
don't
our
break the
latest
scoop. We
our latest claim to fame?
don't
All
break the
right,
scoop.
let's
All
get
right,
these
let's go.
scoops, these 95
95.
scoops. I'm hungry for a
Yeah,
95 now.
absolutely. Now we're gonna need a scoop emoji for sure after this. Um,
Now, you bring up a great point. There were some bidders at 94. They're not
yeah,
necessarily going to them yet. They want to get these
yeah.
95s first. So
And they
that's
they left
important.
too. Like now they've been gone, guys. Another partial here, man.
Hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful. Like they're gone now. You can see it here on the Atlas.
Yeah.
So they were there for a while. They didn't get the love they wanted, and now we're back up to 95. And let's see if 95.50 is a thing. So you can see this real time building. It is just unbelievable how amazing this is, right? And again, you can't trade solely off of this. We traded our 5 minute ORB, which Jerry, you called out actually. I
Hmm.
wasn't watching in CoreWeave. You called this out in this bounce here. So we traded our 5 minute ORB and we just used Atlas to confirm that, hey, this actually has continuation. And it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's a real good looking 1 minute, which obviously I can't see, but I can tell when they're leaning on pre-market high. As soon as they kind of clear it on the first 5 minutes, if that second 5 minute bar doesn't really dig in too much, as
hmm
soon as that second 5 minute bar goes green, it's basically an entry type. And yeah, your stop is right around the low of the second 5 minute bar. So it's a classic orb type setup, but the confirmation is more about seeing the video, busting a move early in the morning, and then the stock having a lot of sympathy. And you look at both of them, I mean, technically NVIDIA's moving further, but we could have
hmm
ridden both horses if we wanted to. I just only have one butt, so
yeah, yeah, agree.
I can't ride two Clydesdales at the same time.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe that
NVIDIA, friends. Oof.
NVIDIA is, I mean, that's an incredible drive. That
Yeah.
a morning trader who's in that, I know Andrew is.
Andrew's in it. Yep.
That's a day done type of move right there. That's all you
Oh,
need.
yeah. That's one and done in NVIDIA, man. Oh, wow.
Go look at your daily too, covering up all those selling sessions in 2 days. NVIDIA is trading
hmm
completely differently now.
Yep.
Big change in directionality here. Market is loving it. 191 on NVIDIA and CoreWeave is still going.
Yeah, Corey's going 95.38. I'm watching another screen here. Man, what a heck of a move, friends. NVIDIA for the win today. If you took that one,
Now,
um, and let's see
when
if
I look at
Corey
NVIDIA's daily, I'm expecting some selling up there, just because it's
in
the
this
pivot
area.
high and
Yeah, we're
hmm
kind of this area here.
and
Yeah.
we don't see it yet, but it could take time. So I'm still thinking bigger picture. I'm following the short-term flow and seeing if anything bigger shows up. So,
Mm.
that NVIDIA drive is great, but it can change. We know the
Yeah.
areas to kind of look for change. I'm just not seeing anything yet.
All right, friends. Our core weave is pulling back a little bit here, but still in good shape, staying above 94.50. So a little bit of more of a consolidation that we're seeing here. Hopefully we can get the breakout above the pre-market high, which is 95.38. So we still haven't hit that 95.50 yet, but we do have an opportunity to do that. All right, let's go around. See what else we got. We got HIMS. I'm sorry, NVO. Back to VWAP here. They have a nice breakout. HIMS. Corey pushing back below 94. We'll get our stop at break even on CoreWeave. I'm
Mhm.
just looking at my other screen here. So let's see if we can hold here. 93.23 is where we'll stop out on CoreWeave. HIMS at the VWAP could be interesting
NVIDIA
here.
still pushing here.
Yeah, NVIDIA
192
is a
on NVIDIA.
monster.
I mean, doing a great job just running this whole area.
Yep, yep.
I'm starting to see a little bit of balance coming in on mostly NVIDIA's level two. I'm kind of looking at it to see if that area is where they're starting to get some profit taking ranges established, which would just slow the morning drive. It doesn't always retrace it, but it kind of halts the price expansion. So if you are
Mm,
in NVIDIA, I think I'm they're still absorbing the top side, but I'm getting those bidders starting to show up as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Usually when NVIDIA is one-sided like this, though, it takes a long time to turn it, and
yeah.
they're actually much more keen on absorbing than they are dropping price. So I can kind of tell NVIDIA's in a mode right now. It's in a mood. I mean, look at those bars. Wow.
Yeah, this is just non-stop.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
We're up
Corey, do
4%.
something. Learn from NVIDIA. Do something. Keep going. What are you doing?
Well,
Oh,
I
man.
mean, if NVIDIA's playing better, whenever the pullback does start in NVIDIA, it might be better to look at NVIDIA as the buy,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
whatever's driving this thing this morning, it's aggressive.
So
Look
here
how
it
look
is,
how far
core
it's moved.
weave. Yeah, it's insane. All right, we'll get out of break here on core weave. We're testing it right now. I think it is going to drop lower. Um, it's funny. I thought about just buying 20 shares here, just as an ad, just to practice, but I
Mhm.
didn't. But it did look like it was going to hold here and bounce. So I thought about buying just a small amount because I want to practice my ads, so nothing that's going to mess up my moving average by a lot. But
Uh,
glad I didn't because this
it's
is
good to practice that
struggling.
way.
Yeah, yeah, because there's so many times that we get these pullbacks that end up working out so good, man. And if you could add that to your trading game, you could
Hmm. It
definitely have with the
enhances a lot of
profits.
positions, yeah.
Oh yeah, yep.
And NVIDIA,
It's
this is
wild.
impressive. NVIDIA just ran. I mean, look at it. It's
It's wild,
How
man.
clean that is. Wow. This is a
It
unique
is
move.
gone, 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 gone.
What's more impressive is it's not really getting any contention along the way. There hasn't been like a major pullback yet. So I think if the order flow is changing, like I'm seeing some pressure right now,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still aggressively in a buy mode. So how long will this red candle last? It's, it could easily turn into a giant wick with how aggressive it is.
Yeah.
So just watch your
Yeah.
downside, but I'd still be looking for buys with that type of movement. But yeah, here's our first pullback on the video. Not even a major one yet. 30 minutes are
Yeah. It's not
clean.
right. Only one red candle, a 1 minute candle, right? You got this
Yeah.
one here. You got this basically a flat and nothing. I mean, just look at the continuation you're getting here. It's just incredible, guys. If you took NVIDIA long today, that was a big,
Mhm.
big winner. No reason for you to have jumped out on any of those pullbacks. Even this one now, if you got a good entry, you got you got the 9, you got the 20 moving averages up are probably going to come into play here, and let's see what it does. So here's
Yeah.
the 9.
Uh, Level two is definitely now got the bidders stacked,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's more the speed of the tape that's impressive. Even if all these bidders get filled, it could immediately turn right back to the highs. And these are the types of pullbacks that I think if you do take advantage of it, you have to be quick because
Yeah.
a short seller isn't really finding themselves in control yet. This drive being pretty wide. So, but a dollar pullback on the video is also worth the attempt. You just have to be kind of fast. I don't know. Core looks fine. I think we should add on that.
Yeah. We're getting a nice bounce off the 20. Um, let's see if we can get above the 9. Atlas still looks very bullish. I mean, we have more orders to the downside now in CoreWeave, but still
Mhm.
overall very, very bullish on CoreWeave. So, but we definitely
Yeah,
got
mostly.
more more activity towards the bottom as well. So let's see.
Mhm.
NVO VWAP. Let's
And with
take a look. Uh,
use this moment to look around here.
yeah, not sure about NVO at the VWAP. I'm gonna add, guys. Again, 20 shares. I'm gonna add here on CoreWeave. 20 shares. Nothing crazy. So it's not gonna move my moving average much. Let's see if we can hold this 20 moving average and head higher. Let's see. My stop's still at break even. So if we lose this 9, this area here, we'll bail on the trade. But let's see. Let's see if we can get higher. It does look bearish. It does look, I'm sorry, bullish on the Atlas as well. Let's see if that can hold. But going back to NVO, as you mentioned, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna. I don't see a VWAP breakout on it. Hasn't done it. Like it's literally using the VWAP as support right now. So I don't see a breakout, and I don't tend to like the ones that just kind of barely make the actual breakout. Right, like here would have been great. Boom, breakout, pullback, nice continuation and momentum. Right, but here's kind of like okay, this just became support. Like we're not really breaking down, and even if it does break down and you get your play, could work. Not ideal, but could work. But right now,
Mhm.
this is clear support at the moment, friends. Uh, so I wouldn't be looking to go short there. HIMS did get the breakout, did get the pullback, but failed as it went lower.
Yeah.
How did Oracle was? Oh, Oracle was nice.
Yeah. Oracle played itself well after the morning.
That was good. And I'm looking at I guess you guys know the only 1 minute I trade is the 5 minute. I'm sorry, the only 1 minute strategy I trade is the 1 minute engulfing. So it did do that too. I missed it. Nice engulfing here in the 1 minute. right above the VWAP, and then it just took off. So that would have been a nice play. I'll be honest, I didn't see it. Um,
So I'm kind of watching the video as well. 5 minute bar, not fully engulfing, but likely to start stepping down a little bit further. We're getting like change behaviors here.
mm,
Um, 5 minute EMAs are also kind of deeper because of the drive. So looking for like a holding pattern on the video, but I think our momentum basically just topped out, and I'm gonna see how deep the pullbacks are at this point. But I'd expect some stalls here, you know, kind of playing inside your candle ranges now.
yeah, looking at my core weave trade, the volume has really died down. Like if you take a look at it closely, you can see here, we had okay volume, not great, okay volume, but here's really died
Hmm.
down a lot. So it's just gonna take longer to get any kind of
Yeah.
move, whether it's gonna move lower or higher. It's just gonna take a little bit longer unless we start getting more volume. Like even this move here, we're doing it with barely any volume. So we could still get our move to 95.50, hopefully 96. It's just gonna take a little bit of time um, to
I
do
can
that.
say, being above 95 gives us more, I would say, price expectation to move up.
Hmm.
Our next major open interest is 98 on CoreWeave. So while we might not see the trend quite yet and whether it's going to hold, an objective to get out of this, I would say like range that we're currently in, would be about 98. So,
Mm.
if you're thinking like a bigger trending type of day or maybe just slower transitions, if we clear 95 on good volume, I think 98 would be our next objective. So now it does mean that the stock would need to be up like maybe 8% on the day, 7 or 8%. That's a big move, but Nvidia just went up
Yeah.
4%
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
minutes. So yeah, it's that kind of
we
day.
it is that kind of day with no problem what's at all. Um, do you guys still do the funded account lottery? Yes, we never stopped. Every day,
Hmm.
every single day. So, you do have to be part of the Lambos and Garbage Truck family. So you can sign up by going right on YouTube here next to go to our Bearbush Traders channel, and then click on join, and that gets you in. So, you could do that, and you'll be into the lottery that we do later today. So $5 a month. Aside from that, you get tons of videos available to you that are just for members. So that's really where the value is. The funded account is an extra thank you from Andrew to you guys, but the real value is in the videos that you're gonna get from moderators, myself, Jared, Megan, a bunch of us do stuff there. Wow, let's go.
There it is.
I think the stock is hearing you, Jared.
That's right.
All
I,
right.
So this is really
Oh,
great
beautiful.
behavior because Nvidia is doing its pullback, and yet traders are looking at CoreWeave as like there's more opportunity here, and the market maker is kind of rewarding us with the pullback buy. So I didn't add on that pullback. I know you did, Carlos, but I still got a
Hmm.
little bit left.
Nice,
Let's see if we can hold this for all day.
nice, nice,
So,
nice.
nothing better than setting a stop and letting it fly.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, all right. Just want to check how the Atlas is doing with that. How it looks. Again, still looking very, very bullish here on core weave. So let's see if break that 96 continue higher. Again, as you said, Jared, 98 is kind of like what this is capable of doing. And you can see too 98. If you look at Atlas over here, you can see 98 is packed. 14,000 shares up there. Every whole dollar number is
Yeah.
gonna have some, but you can see here clearly 98. It's got a bunch, and then nothing towards the bottom here, so a good indication that there's not a whole lot of interest down there. So let's see. The one thing we're lacking though is just volume. So like I mentioned earlier, it's gonna take a little bit longer. You know, you see the volume here is
Hmm.
very low compared to the market open. Got your spikes. Got this one spike here. Got this move up. Um,
Hmm.
let's see if that can continue. I will take another partial above 96 here if we can get it.
Yeah, I think dollar per share. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
size down again. I wish I had a little bit more size to work with, but
Yeah, it might not make sense to partial, right? If you have if you don't have much left. Here it is, friends. Partial here. So
nice.
basically, our ad worked out excellent. Again, only 20 shares. We're
Yeah, great
practicing through
ad.
it, but our ad worked
Great
out
ad.
awesome here. So, um, very, very good there. Cater 4. Welcome to the Lambos and Garbage Truck family, my friend. Great to have you. Enjoy the perks from the community, videos, and all that stuff. Thank you for joining the family here. All right, there it is, 96, and we might get more. This
Yeah.
continues.
So I know not everybody's as familiar with my 30-minute style on
Do
live
you have your
trading,
screen
but
up? I can show people your screen. You want to show that?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, at least the analysis part, because
Yeah.
what I'm looking at here for context clues is not so much the minutia. I'm looking to see first 30 minutes, it's all about the expansion. I mean, if we're trading those first 30 minutes, I want a nice, fat, wide 30-minute bar. No question about anything else. But now that we're in the second 30 minutes, I'm actually looking to see how the market handles the range that we've entered. And on core weave, we're basically in like a breakout. It's a pre-market high broken out. It's an after hours high breaking out. Friday high got taken out. As the 30-minute bars are proceeding, I'm mostly just making sure they don't pivot. Because if I want to manage, let's say, a trend or a position on trend, I might have entered, like Carlos and I, we basically both entered at the pre-market high breaking out. As long as there's no deep retracements into that area, or so long as the 30-minute session doesn't really pivot too hard, I would basically still be confident in the trend that I see. What can change that, of course, is momentary volatility. And as we all know, sometimes things can change once and then keep going in the main direction. So it's kind of a bar by bar analysis. 30 minutes aren't perfect, but if I wanted to look at the results of a trade, one of the best things I could do is say, how did I perform on that first 30 minutes? Did I buy it at the opening price and risk the wick low? No, we weren't fast enough. Did I buy it somewhere inside the 30 minutes and just risk like a different time frames low? In this case, we pretty much both risked the 5 minute. That concept allows you to see that it could be trending, and it would take probably another hour to even decide if it's changing direction. Something like a pivot on a bigger time frame. So it's a way to kind of see bigger, not take as many like short-term partials, because you are looking for that expansion in the first 30 minutes. And for ads, I would want to make sure that there's stability. Basically, are we still seeing good bullish looking setups every 30 minutes or so? And if that changes, then obviously it's pivoting or it's just pulling back a little too much. We can always get out. That's kind of
Awesome.
how I do it these days. And
Yeah.
as you can tell, I'm kind of slower. I
Mm-hmm.
think Thor and I kind of align to that. Y'all had some experience with Thor here. We're just slower traders, but we also want
Yeah.
to capture more. We want bigger moves. So,
Yeah. That
and
makes perfect sense.
just a way to handle the action without a reaction. A lot of action, less reaction on our part. We kind of calm and steady. But I'm noticing differences here too, because NVIDIA is still struggling and CoreWeave isn't even blinking at it. So
Yeah. Corey's
we
just
might have
holding on
picked the
here.
right horse. It was just a slower out of the gate
Slow,
horse.
slow horse. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Let's see. here.
You can also see that these targets are achievable too. Like CoreWeave has been here before. This is not new price territory. It's just kind of like a counter trend move with what's been happening recently. And I'm looking at these daily bars. I mean, 98's probably the furthest I'd go today. It fulfills the ATR and it kind of brings it back to when things really changed on the daily. But the journey is the hard part. How long is it going to take to get up there? So I think by 97.50, if we get to that price, Carlos and I will be like, yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
that's
we're,
probably
we're happy. We're very
good.
happy. I won't mind taking everything off there, or another.
Right.
Depends how much you have. But then my next partial, yeah. I mean, I've taken four already, so now we're just gonna
Hmm.
be a lot more patient with the partial, especially if we're not testing our average price, right? If we're not near that,
Exactly.
why force it? You know, let it play out.
Yeah.
Um,
Still expanding. Still looking good.
Yeah, still looking great as we go up to 97. Question in the chat, how what's included in the trading terminal account? So here's what it is, right? Here's your setup. So trading terminal is $99 and this is everything you get, right? Real time simulator, market atlas, which again, just on this alone, you're more than getting your values worth. Right, so it's a great tool. Market atlas, we use this today for CoreWeave, right? Helped us get in that trade. Market replay playback, advanced scanners that we use every single morning. So the gap up down scanners you see in the morning, that's what that is. Breaking news links, live squawk. So that's also very good. You could have that on as well. Premium Academy courses, you're going to get. For the funded account, you could be eligible for the funded account. You can add this if you want, but you
Hmm.
don't get this with this price, right? So everything is included except the funded account. That is an add-on, right? Then that's it. There's no like confusing different type of membership. It's just one membership with everything. If you want funded account, then you can add it on to your premium plan. Okay, another question I get asked a lot: can I do the funded account alone? No, you cannot. It has to be part of the premium plan because you are going to use the tools like the replay real-time simulator that's on here, right? So you're paying for the data for this, for the real-time trading simulator, and the funded account is an add-on to this here. All right, so pretty straightforward. It's the best value out there. Even the $300 for the funded account is really incredible. And I see the emails go out. You know, people are making their money back in some cases, making a little extra,
Hmm.
making 2,000, 3,000. So you have the opportunity to do that as well, make your money back. So that's also another positive about it. All right, going through my list here. ONDS doing some stuff. 1050. So that's doing something there. CoreWeave, we're in that one. STM.
Even
Uh,
stocks like HIMS, it's a good representation that even though it sold off in that first 5 minutes, it didn't actually
mhm.
continue,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
tells me that it probably got a bunch of buyers filled, but how long is it going to take to make a fresh low? And or what are we trusting here? Probably that pre-market low back to us. So those
yeah,
types of sessions are really tricky because a few people get in on the edges and then no one really wins all day. It just gets locked between the high and the low. So
yeah,
I try and get one attempt on those. I kind of miss that low end 1650 entry, but after it rebounds, it kind of just becomes like a guessing game, which way is it going to flow. But we're often looking for trenders because we can kind of get into a period of, okay, it's moving in our favor. We can step back and see how well it handles the orders. Like right now, CoreWeave is trying to fill 97s. I don't see any bidders in this area, so we're just letting it work, and that style feels a little different than like a one in, one out type of trade. You're actually managing your analysis as opposed to your position. So
yeah, yeah,
this is the way I like to trade. This is my preference.
yeah.
If
And,
I'm
and And there's nothing wrong with that, man. I tell people all the time, like, there's so many different ways to trade. And the hardest thing is finding what works for you, right? And it doesn't have to be a
97.
replica of anybody else. Yeah, I see that. 97. I'm looking at it.
Boom.
97, 22. Wow,
Man.
slow and
And
steady.
it fills and gives us a
Oh,
pop. It's perfect. It's great.
this is trading so, so well. Um, very, very nice. But yeah, find what works for you. Very important. And then that's the great thing about community. We have so many different type of traders in our community, and moderators too. Every moderator trades different. That we can help you in
Mhm.
finding what works best for you, right? And we got 27 strategies that you can select from, and try them out, see what fits.
Exactly. And not every trade deserves like some trades are built to just be in and out. And I think a lot of traders like that because they're like, okay, this is my entry. It deserves an exit where the strategy tells me to exit, and then they don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
work is done, and
yeah,
your execution is what kind of dictates your profit. These strategies, the ones that Carlos and I are kind of extracting right now, in a trending scenario, it's like, how many times can I press the issue? How many times can
yeah,
I add? How many times will it pull back? And that behavioral characteristic of like, should I get rid of it all? Is this the best I'm gonna get? Or is this next pullback even going to be worth it for me? Those questions become harder because you're constantly in a thinking mode. Not every
yeah,
trader is built for that, or at least, attuned to it. So it is true. Trading is like it's specialized, different strokes for different folks. And
that's
we're
it.
very much of the opinion that there's always something that fits every trader's style. We just have to figure out what it is, you know.
Yep, absolutely.
No, they
um
didn't like that 97 too much, huh?
no, it
They only
didn't.
stayed up there for a little
No.
bit.
Yep, it didn't. So let's see what it does at the 9 here. How do you sign up? Head over to bearbrewtrades.com. So if you're asking how do you sign up, you head over there. And then right now we're running our Valentine promotion, 50% off, using the code LOVE50. And it's not on here. It's not mentioned on here, but for our YouTube friends and our X friends, if you sign up now, you also get one funded account. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. All right. So it's not listed
Mhm.
there, but that's part of it. That's just for you guys over on YouTube and on X. So sign up and you get access to that as well. All right. Um, Speaking of the funded account, I gotta look at my funded account, see how we're doing. I gotta make sure I trade because I like to put, yeah, because if not, I'll get eliminated by not trading every day. So I gotta make
All
sure I
right.
do that. You know,
You
let's
could
see
have
what's
taken the
going
same
on.
trade in the funded account and
Yeah, I
carried
tried to
both.
do that, but it's hard to just like focus on here and then go like, okay, let me go take. Yeah, it's not as easy. I tried, but
It's hard.
not as
I
easy.
get
Yeah,
it.
it's hard. It's hard. But if you guys are doing the funded account and you focus solely on that, you can do very very well. So um, I just tell people, take it easy. Don't swing for the fences. You know.
So a comment on the trade that we're in, just as the bars are kind of giving us more information. The 30-minute has now showing a more prominent wick. Even though we moved up, it obviously is getting some sell pressure. And one thing I start looking at is where are the tops of ranges that are set, things that won't move as the next session is moving. So these 30-minute highs right here are important. I'd love to stay above them to kind of keep the trend going. But the five is, stuttering a little bit and doing some back testing. So oftentimes I find that on this strategy, if it's going to keep the flow, I want to see almost like a bar by bar progression. And it can be as simple as holding the tops of ranges or just never breaking what is now the low of this 30-minute bar at 95.2. And unfortunately, like I said, a quick little sweep down there to get some 95s and keep going, putting your stop in the wrong areas just as bad as missing the trade sometimes. So I'm kind of watching it, but these are the candle sessions where I'm more focused because the first 30 minutes I'm just trying to get in before it gets too far away from us. But yeah, the next 30 and probably the last like the first hour and a half, that's a full morning trend will basically be done at that point. We'll go into some consolidations and if you have a deeper position, you might just be sitting on it, but it's harder to add during consolidations, I find. A little choppier. So I'm hoping for
Yep.
more trend bars, but 30 minutes at a time, and we're hoping these fives keep giving us some breakouts to get these top
Yep.
orders here.
Yep. Question is Jared 8:30 morning show on BBT community? No, so Jared starts at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Monday through Thursday in our chat room in the community. So he comes on 30 minutes before us, and then he transitions over to us, and we also stream our pre-market show into the chat room as well. So again, check it out, guys. Check it out. If you like his type of analysis, you're gonna get a lot more information when he's running the show in the morning. It's a great way to start. I always have it on as I'm preparing, and usually having either a shake or my breakfast. I'm hearing you, Jared. I got you on. So it's a great way to start the day.
Yeah. And it's structured to where every day is a little different. Mondays are more kind of getting us ready for the full week, giving a little bit more overview. Tuesday, we're very SPX focused. We use spot gamma, a little bit of like key technical analysis techniques to hone in on what's been happening. Usually by Wednesday, we have some catalysts to worry about. Earnings are pretty much always in focus now. Even this week, we have tons of earnings that are small to middle size companies. And we're pretty much done with the mag stocks, except for NVDA. That's going to come later this month. Um, Thursdays, it's kind of Q&A. I want to see what traders are interested in. My skill sets are wide and vast, but not necessarily as deep as needed sometimes. But I can usually help with morning questions, kind of give like a trade plan and kind of talk traders through some ideas if they're struggling throughout the week. So that's the format. And it's been working well for what how long have I been doing engineering the markets?
It's been a while, man.
4 years, 3 years?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
At least three,
getting
for
old, Carlos.
sure. I know, man. Hey, we started doing this pre-market stuff 2019. So we,
Hmm.
yeah, we've been at it for a bit. But it's a lot of fun though. It has become like part of
Would you
our
see?
just kind of preparation, and just kind
Yeah,
of part of the routine. You were saying?
it gets it gets you ready for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it you can either focus on one or two things and go real in depth, or you can get that much broader view. No matter what happens when the market opens, you either, take action, take a game plan and just run with it. And the first things first is like, are you even prepared for any of these moves? And I think what
Mm-hmm.
we do prepping, BBT and YouTube for these movements, then the market opens and we're just ready to take action. So CoreWeave was one of those stocks, and just looking at NVIDIA for sympathy, that's all you need. The morning trades are basically like rounded out now, and I think we're both satisfied with what has been accomplished so far on a single trade. Let's see. I think a lot of people have
Yari. Welcome to Lambus and Garbage Truck, my friend. Good to have you.
yeah,
Enjoy
welcome.
all the perks videos, and good luck today when we do our funded account in just a few minutes. Friends, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. We'd love to be at 400 is our goal. We're sitting at 254. So if you haven't had the opportunity to hit that thumbs up, please do so. Again, it helps out the show a ton. So thank you so much for that, guys. HIMS at VWAP. Let's take a look. HIMS. Yes, HIMS. It's
Hmm.
been here before a couple of
Still
times.
struggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not,
Let's see.
it's
Eh,
a noisy, it's lower range, but sellers aren't really trending much. And if you look at the daily chart, it's one of those candles that could turn on us. So if we start clearing 1750, don't be surprised that we actually see it go the other way. Um, Usually those are hard to like keep selling through, even with bad news. It's
Yeah,
just the way that the orders are handled down here. It's a little tricky. That's why I usually view those as like one-off, and I don't look at those for trends. They're too gapped down. They're too far gone, and you get discrepancies with who's buying and who's selling. But core weave, no discrepancies here. Only buyers and
yeah.
only up
Seriously. Yep, yep.
so
Um,
far.
so far, let's see how that this 97.38 was our previous high. Let's
Hmm.
see as we go back to that high of the day, what's going to take place here.
And even though the open interest target is 98, volume today is actually concentrated at 100.
Mm,
It's hard for me to just say shoot for a 10% move every single day, but this market's been doing a pretty good job at it. So by 98, Carlos and I are going to be pretty exhausted, I'm sure. If you're going for gold, go for 100 or very close to
yeah,
100 because I do see call volume sitting there. It's just that it's a Monday and they don't have to run to those orders just yet. It's more of a Wednesday, Thursday setup. So I think 98 is going to be our sweet spot. 97.50 to 98 is a sweet spot for us.
yeah, yeah. 97 above 97.50. I'm definitely taking a partial if we can get there. Um, and and then I don't have much left. So after this partial, if we struggle to
Hmm.
stay above 97, I just take the rest out. Like after this partial, it's not worth even sticking around for even 100 because we've taken so many partials already. But like you said, Jared, depending
Yeah.
on where you stand, if you're waiting for the bigger move, if you added enough on here, you know, might be worth waiting for 100. So
Yeah. As long as you can tolerate pullbacks to like probably VWAP in the
yeah,
midday, and more importantly, the buyers really stepped up at pre-market high, and the first 5 minute pullback didn't actually test that. If the market maker wants to be a little dirty, it'll probably go through the 5 minute lows made uh, somewhere around I think 8:50 or 9:50 market time. If it wants to be real dirty, it'll test this low first and just kind of grab any stops down here before settling out the day in a big trading range. So usually when the trend is over, the lows of the trend are the target, but I don't see any sell setups yet, so I'm not worried about that just yet. So you just kind of structure your fives as you walk it up, and the first pullback low is like probably the spot they want to test. It's just that they haven't gotten all the top side orders yet. It's kind of like who gets filled first. Right now it's the top side sellers. So trend first and then start thinking range, probably around usually around like I guess 11 Eastern is when I start thinking like a range trader. There might be
yeah.
some clues on the price action by that point.
Doug, what alerted us to us CoreWeave? Well, CoreWeave, it wasn't the gappers list. So we did quickly talk about it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and CoreWeave was actually on my secondary list. Um, and it wasn't the gappers list. We didn't get to it, but someone had mentioned this in chat. One of you members, either you guys or someone in the chat, were mentioned that we looked at it again. Both Jared and I agree that hey, might be worth looking at. Might not be a primary one, might be worth looking at. So once it started getting the volume, because some of the
Mm-hmm.
stuff in my primary did not get the volume. Like if you looked at HIMS was quiet for like the first 3 minutes, did nothing. So we
Yeah.
stopped paying attention to that. Like if you look at it here, just did nothing, no volume whatsoever. Typical nicey type play. So again, although it's in our primary list, we just left it alone. NVO also didn't really move much. That was two of my primary list that really didn't get the attention. And go figure why we normally don't have those stocks in play because they don't really trade that well. Even with some big news today, it took a while for them to actually get going. NVO had a nice breakout though, and a nice sell-off just a few minutes ago after 10:06. You can see here nice breakdown below the VWAP there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you guys called out core. If you looked at it, we like what we saw. Jerry, you actually called it out to me as
Mm-hmm.
far as hey, nice 5 minute ORB there, and we took the trade. Checked it with
Yeah.
Atlas, everything lined up perfectly. So we had a beautiful. This is our 5 minute here. Just an amazing 5 minute ORB. Let me show you the 5 minute. See how clean this looks. I mean, that's just awesome. Beautiful pullback is what you want to see. On the way up, you enter. I mean, it's just textbook. Really,
It
really
is.
textbook
It
play.
is.
You know?
And you know what else helped us? Someone mentioned in the YouTube. Megan had it on her watch list. And I
Nice.
gotta be upfront. Megan, she puts in a lot of pre-market analysis work. So if
Yes,
it's
he
front and center
does.
on her list, I'm gonna at least watch
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
typically kind of see what she's looking for as well. So um,
Yeah. We had her on last
breakouts.
week, and these guys got a taste of what, her trading style and what kind of
Hmm.
she looks for. And you saw she had two great trades on AMD and Google Short. And you guys saw
PLTR.
how those were two, was it PLTR? No, I think it was I
Maybe
think it
that
was,
was a different day.
yeah, a different day, but
I don't
for us it was
remember.
AMD and Google. She went both short on those. And you saw the background data she had on it, right? Where she had her levels, higher time frames, and she puts in a lot of work to get that stuff already. So yeah, agreed,
Exactly.
agreed.
I mean, not every plan you put together even has like the trigger to get in. So a lot
Hmm.
of times you put plans together and you just see which ones enacted throughout the day or has like the right kind of conditions. Um, the one for CoreWeave, I think, is just the breakout kind of setup. And breakouts are tough because there are expectations. A breakout has to expand a certain amount, and we have to get a certain distance before we start seeing any, major selling pressure. So a lot of traders, even though they like the breakout signals, they actually significantly underestimate the distance because it is a measured thing that we're looking for. And, you know, if we're lucky, we'll get exactly where we planned. If not, we have to start taking action as soon as we see pressure against us. And, that's usually when you start seeing like bailing and big reversals, things that aren't quite expanding as expected. But yeah, those game plans usually come together early, and then you see which one's giving you the trigger.
Yep.
Don't like this 30-minute activity now because we spent all 30 minutes up here and the
I
candle's still
know.
pivoting. So we might have to call it a day if we can't get through
Yeah.
97s here.
I don't want to go back down to 95. This nine moving average better do its job. Do your job, nine moving average. Hold this price up. Uh,
Yeah, that's a
on the
good line
five
in the
minute.
sand.
Yeah, on the
Mhm.
5 minute we got that nine, and on the 1 minute we got more than that, obviously. But bigger time frame now, so we got a couple of minutes in this already. This will be a nice place to hold if we can, but I don't want to go below 95. It's not
Yeah,
worth it, to hold to that pullback with what I have left. So
yeah,
we'll be ready to bail on it, friends. If this is all it's gonna give us, there it is. Let's see if we can hold the line.
yeah. So the 30-minute just tried to turn red there. So basically, if the whole bar pivots and we have 1 minute till the next session, that's an exit. Like for me, even if I'm carrying a big position or a small position, I can't deal with a pivot because a pivot could
Mm-hmm.
mean a reversal, and I usually don't wait around to see.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but it's tough because like the whole 30 minutes, it looks like it's pivoting. It's just we're not breaking. And as Carlos mentioned, if we lose 95, that's a confirmed pivot, something that is no longer looking for topside. So
Yep. All right. It's a new 30 minutes. If we're looking at that
that's
now, let's see if we
that's
can
right.
see what we could do here. Perfect timing.
Carlos, I got Carlos on the 30-minute
Yeah,
train now.
I don't even have a hotkey for a 30 minute. Like, how the hell you got 30 minutes on DAS? I don't even know how to do that. Had to go to the toolbar at the top and get the 30 minute. Oh man, good
What
stuff.
what I got a question in the chat.
Yes.
3.5 cups of sugar to the moon. That's a great name. What defines a pivot? So it's a technical concept. It's a single candle typically for a pivot bar. And typically what you're looking at is a pin bar or a shooting star, depending on which direction it's oriented. You'll notice the 30-minute time frame has a wide top wick. Basically, price tried to go above these prices or into these new areas, and instead of holding or staying green, it formed a wick. The pivot itself is not a sell signal in a lot of cases because you actually have to break the bar itself. You have to go below it to pivot. But the wick implies some pressure. During that 30 minutes, we really didn't go anywhere. We basically ended where we started on the previous session. And it's one of the early issues that traders run into. They see the pivot bar and they're like, oh, it's a short. But it hasn't triggered. It hasn't actually broken that bar to the downside. What you're noticing now is even though Carlos and I see it and are paying attention to it, we're actually trading inside of that 30-minute pivot, which means we get a choice now. We can either say that pivot will eventually break and I want to take my money and run, or no one is selling through the low of the pivot. And if we can negate the pivot, which means go the opposite way, our next target is the pivot high or the high of the bar. So in a trend concept, this is actually something that gets a lot of traders in trouble. We're in an uptrend. We see a 30-minute pivot bar. Reversal traders are probably trying to get a position short, but the market hasn't triggered a short yet. This 30-minute bar is not red, nor have we broken the low. So the whole time someone might be looking to short CRWV, Carlos and I are just kind of observing, making sure we're safe, trending, doing our job.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the bar suggested that it could reverse, and yet we don't see it. So we hold steady. We hope that we can maybe go to the top of the bar. And by that point, if we break bullish again, that bar is just going to be a stall, like a moment in time where we stopped pushing hard, but we didn't really sell either. And a lot of traders will their urgency to get into a trade, they'll use any information to get into like a reversal trade or something to the opposite. When I'm looking at this time frame, I'm saying, prove it to me. Prove that you can break that bar down. And if you can't, it's the wrong direction or it's just not ready. It's an early signal. It's not the right signal. So that's how I view
Right.
it. And it's a pivot bar is just a single candle, typically a topping tail uh, shooting star kind of pattern or a pin bar at the lows. Either one is often considered like a pivoting area. And sometimes it pivots immediately. Sometimes it takes a couple candles to see the reversal coming.
Very nice. Very nice. Here's Andrew's trade on the video this morning, guys. Take a look at that. That is heck of a move. So there it is. 1 minute ORB off the previous day close. Partial, partial, added. Partial, 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 partial. Added again. And I think he's just holding on to that last add here. So I'm not sure if he has partial already, but look at it has not even come back to test his last entry here at 190.34 roughly. I'm sure his average price is somewhere down here. But that is awesome.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
very
that is
awesome.
really What a move. I mean, doesn't get cleaner than that. Look at the 5 minute here. Just how clean that is. So amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. It's once you've seen those drives, you start
Yep.
realizing if you're early to entry and your average doesn't move too high, you can stay in those trades untested for
Mm-hmm.
hours. And
Yeah.
the end result is you might not get any better partials by the end of the day. You might barely get a little bit higher by the end of the day, but the question is, should you ever get out?
Right.
And the difference can be night and day with conviction, maybe even adding a little bit on some consolidation, and at the very minimum, knowing when you're wrong, knowing
Yeah.
that the market has truly changed, because none of those candles really suggest otherwise, We're
No.
not seeing the behavior to change direction or to flip, not with conviction, just temporary stuff.
Yeah. Here it is, friends. We're getting our. Yeah, we might be getting our 9750 here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I,
Might be getting
I
that.
like I like you on
So
the 30 minute. I think it's a good look for you, Carlos.
you like the 30 minute, right? Oh
I
man.
love it.
I'm not even ready to leave it on the 30 minutes, take a partial. I'm like, I gotta go to the 5 minute focus. um,
Now, the 5 is for execution. Yes. The 30 minute is for context. So they
yeah,
have different purposes now.
gotcha. Dave from Connecticut. Carlos got he got short. Okay. So he partialed too much. Yeah, that
Yeah,
might happen. So he went
it's
short by
okay.
mistake. Okay, that happens. So got out quickly. Got it. Got it. Yep. Yep. Hamid, welcome to Lambos and Garbage Truck, my friend. Good to have you. Thank you for joining. We're gonna be doing the giveaway in just a couple of minutes here, friends. So stick around for that. We'll give you the hashtag a little bit later. But yeah, welcome to Lambos and Garbage Truck. Awesome to have you there. So,
Yeah,
but uh,
welcome.
but yes, yes, yes. Great trading day today. Not a bad way to start the week.
So I guess it's been a while since I've seen you trade completely, Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Are you someone who would hold a trade all day if never tested?
I have held all day. It's been a while though. It's been a long
Hmm.
time. Usually by now 11 you start to see what's happening right now. Like you start to see this resistance somewhat of reversal type look, right? So usually by
Yeah.
now with what I have left is like is it worth sticking around? And in some cases, it is. In some cases, it's not. Right now, if I start adding, if I'm able to start doing this more often, where I'm doing a significant add, okay, then yeah, I'll be sticking around a little bit longer, hoping that this can go for 98, go for 100, like we've been talking. But for the most part, by now, I'm looking to. If you're not gonna go any higher, I'm just gonna cut it and
Hmm.
and be done for the day. So but yeah, I haven't held like that for a long time. When that happens, usually what I'll do is I'll just set a range order,
Yeah.
where I think it's going to get to, give it enough room to do what it has to do. But it's been a while since I've done that. So
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm usually trying to see if there's like an exit around, like I said, the first hour and a half is kind of the sweet spot. I usually
yeah,
find the expansions that are getting a little exhausted at that point,
mm-hmm.
and we might still be seeing it, just it's taken a while. And
Yeah,
usually during the like 11 to 2 o'clock periods, different types of trades are showing up, none of which really care about the morning bias or the morning expansions because it's all in its own trading range. So I'm usually looking at the market a little differently there, trying to isolate what already happened and then focus on what's in front of me because it's typically a trading range in disguise that has stalled the trend and, like I said, a bigger consolidation and just a longer wait period for highs and lows to form. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's not easy. All day
yeah.
holds are tough.
No, it's not, especially for us because, like you said, you broke it down very nice earlier, where you say different type of trades. There's some trades that are going to be constantly making a decision, constantly analyzing, and there's other traders going to just set it and forget it and be done. I think if your strategy is set and forget, those traders can easily last, all day, no problem. But we're constantly analyzing, okay, what data we have now? Okay, what is market atlas giving us now? Okay, how does this last 30-minute candle we just talked about finish? Are we still in continuation? How does this pullback look? Are we getting volume? Any news event messing us up here? So how's the market trend? So you're constantly in that decision-making mode, and that gets tiring, believe it or not. Even if you're not doing anything, you do get
Hmm.
tired of just
Hmm.
constantly analyzing and having to make a decision, even if the decision is no decision. Does that make sense? Or the decision is no action.
Yep.
So that does get tiring after a while. I can't do that all day. So
Exactly.
yeah, I can't do
Exactly.
that all day. No way.
You nailed it. Like we're limited not so much by what we can buy and sell, but by our mental capability to maintain focus. And
Yeah.
a morning game plan is either working right now or pretty much done. So now I have to come up with new game plans at different price levels, and I have to trust what I see, for the most part. That takes a lot of mental strain. And, if you're in the zone, if you're like super like tuned into what's happening on a move, a lot of traders can really nail some home runs, but not every trade, not every position requires that. So you try your best to like capture what you know, see if it's evolving or changing, and then for the most part, understand that different trades are being offered. There are opportunities for someone who's doing a range back and forth, someone who's waiting for a pullback is just waiting for their limit orders to get filled. And for us, it might be an all-out exit once it happens. It's just a different, it's different information. And
Yeah.
we often forget that the what happens versus what's happening, you're always trying to analyze if it's worth the juice is worth the squeeze after a certain point. So
Well said, my friend. Uh,
I think even like people are posting screenshots right now, which tells me they're done.
in the chat, Megan is
Megan's
posting
posting her
screenshot.
screenshots, so obviously she's done, and we're just
She's
hanging out here
done.
hoping for more.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what Megan did. Where's Megan? Here's what Megan did. Let's take a quick look. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, she took core weave as well. All right, very
Hmm.
nice. Let's see my page
Or we
slows here. It's a little bit
bandwagon.
slow. There it is. Core weave. Very, very nice. She took it a lot earlier, 1 minute ORB, I believe that's what that is. Previous day close, right here. We
Mhm.
took it more in this area where she added. Here's where me and Jared took it more of the 5 minute opening range, right? So we took it for the breakout. This pullback was what gave us a little bit of our confirmation. That pullback and that continuation there was awesome. As I see the boys coming in here, Andrew and
Good morning,
Bryant.
everybody. How are you guys
Good
doing?
morning. Good
Yes,
morning. How are you? Let me get
yes,
it over in
yes. Good
chat.
morning.
Ah,
Good morning.
Good morning.
we are doing
Uh,
pretty good.
get the volume in chat and all right. And I don't see your camera yet, but I do hear you loud and
There's not
clear.
much. There's not much to see.
Much to see. All right,
I'm
friends, stick
just
around. We're gonna do the giveaway a little bit later at 11. So we'll do the giveaway then for the funded account. So stick around.
all right. So, guys, let me share my screen. We had an amazing day today in the chat room. I hope you guys had a good time as well in YouTube. You guys see my screen? I shared my screen.
Now
I
we
had a
do.
really, yeah, so obviously NVDA had a really amazing day on Friday, and today continued this big move toward 194, 195. And looking at the daily chart, well, as you see, we took a long for the continuation of the previous day. And the daily levels, we had this level, we had another level somewhere around 193, and then obviously we had 194.52 that we were hoping to get there. But how do we find these moves and take a big size on it? So we're using something called Market Atlas. that Market Atlas can clearly show you these big orders that are standing in the market. Right now, there's some big orders are standing up here. So, I have to zoom in a little bit to make it a little bit, more clear. I think we're going to fix this one issue very soon, by the way. I think this one is right, 195. So having these big orders really shows you that things want to go toward that price. I did take a couple of screenshots at the open today to show you how these actual prices move and how you can actually to make a decision based on that. So Market Atlas is 100% for scalpers. Again, not everybody needs it. It's also expensive. So there is a price for it because you have to pay to NASDAQ and distribution fee and everything. But if you are day trading and scalping, like I do and Brian do, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes seconds, you really need something like that. And I have some screenshots I'm going to show you today. And also in Vegas in February 23 to 25th, I have a presentation about it. There's some recording videos. We also do live trading. Also, a couple of our experienced traders like Brian, Nathan, and Thor also coming to share with you what they have in that. Okay, so what we traded, let's go through the chart to see. So here's what we saw. So we saw NVDA strong open, and then again we saw Market Atlas showing big orders to the upside, stacking up, and I decided to take a long on it, toward this level 187 partial, and I saw it's very heavy, very strong, so I added more on that for a boom toward 190, and partialed all the way up to 190. I did make a mistake here. I got short and I quickly covered with a loss, and eventually turned out to be a $57,000 profit. Again, that 590 is the shorts that I covered. Friday, I sold some puts on Microsoft at 400 that I covered half of them for $35,000. I have the other one half here that I hope that is going to continue going lower or not. So selling the naked puts is kind of a tricky situation. So let me show you the Microsoft here. So this is the Microsoft puts for the end of this week at 400. And so I sold it somewhere around at Friday, somewhere around here at $9. And then as it loses its value, sorry, this is Friday, as it loses its value, I'm covering cheaper. So I got filled at $2 for half of it, and now it's 194. So I can actually continue selling it. So that was a really good, but I did have a big loss on Microsoft puts on Friday. And turned out to be $92,000 day, which is pretty nice. And I think Brian also had a really nice trade on NVIDIA. But before we go to Brian, I want you to go full screen for me, Carlos. I want to show you some screenshots that we did today. So let me see, how do I zoom in here so you guys can see better? Let me see.
I could zoom in for you if you need me to.
Yeah, so I did as much as possible. So I just want to do a couple of screenshots. Again, we have so many of these videos in the education center, and you guys can see. But what I want you to see is the time. Again, we have so many recording in YouTube and in the education center. But what I want you to see is the time. And look at the clear level, 187, 188. You see these huge orders, and there's nothing down there. So that is one signal. And of course, you have a very bullish 1 minute opening range breakup. You have this level 187 for you. That's why you go very big size on it to get to 187 and 188. Now I'm going to change to another screenshot that I took. Again, did you see the time? 18, and now it's going to go 933.58. Boom. They took down 187, and now we're going to go toward 188. Again, another screenshot. 1 minute later, now 188 is still in there. You partial toward that. Again, time 9:35:52. Again, I'm going to have this presentation in the money show. There's also a lot of guys videos in education center, trading terminal, and also YouTube. Just search Market Atlas YouTube. I have a lot of live recording that you can see. Again, 188 is going up. And then 190, look at this 190. Look at this huge rip toward 190. I put my orders up here. So for those of you who can see my chart, I added more because I saw this big order here, and I also put my order to cover. So these big orders that you see are I'm one of them. So I'm putting my order at 190. So why do I put my order up there is because I'm waiting for the price to come to me. So when everybody putting their order, nobody wants to sell. Everybody wants to, price comes to them. It's very counterintuitive. There's a lot of sellers up there, but the price goes to them because we are not desperate sellers. If we were desperate sellers, we would have hit the market order, get rid of our position and go home. But no, everybody is standing up there because they know price comes to them. So it's a mass psychology. You know, it's a bull market in the real estate. Your asking price for your house is higher and higher and higher. Your asking price goes up, and these are asking price because people think it's a bull market. It's going to go to them. Again, look at the time. I'm going to go here, time 9:41. Boom. We're going to go to 190 again, going higher. Now we took that 190 as now everybody putting up at 191. So this game continues now 192. See, these are all screenshots that is really easy. Well, 192, 193 just keeps going up until we reach to a point that we can't go higher anymore. So now we have orders at 195. So again, look at the daily chart. It's very clear. The daily chart is really going toward 195. Again, very bullish today. It's really, really amazing. But eventually reach to a point that you can't go there because nothing is going up forever. And you're reaching to a point that now the price pulls back and the market atlas really doesn't show you anything. So this becomes an indecisive and choppiness. And this is the sign that, okay, there's nothing serious up there. There's nothing serious down there. Price is pulling back. I'm not going to take any trade on that anymore. And that's exactly what happened. NVDA started to really choppy area because the buyers and sellers cannot agree on, the direction. And you see, that's a sign that you want to stay away from it. So see, then the 193 came here, but there's also 190 over there. And then again, the time of the day, I put everything, the time of the day, chart pattern is not really great. So I just stay away from it. So that's how we trade. Again, people might trade differently based on that, and all of them are correct. Like Jared might trade differently, Thor might trade differently, Nathan might trade differently. But that's how I look at it, and it seems pretty nice and pretty amazing working. So I highly recommend, guys, if you really want to trade the way that I do and Brian do, you need this. And not that I want to try to sell you anything. You can have this tool from Bookmap as well. But it's very important to have that. And there is a cost associated with that, unfortunately, because NASDAQ is charging for data distribution and also $20 per member per user per month you have to give them for the licensing fee because this data is their copyright. This data is their material. If I had this data for free, I would have given it to you. But that's a charge that you have to pay them. And this is in addition of AWS and the data providers that they charge you per month to give you the technology. All this data comes to your browser, and then our technology is doing a visualization on the browser. But there's a lot of technology behind to send all of this data for you in real time. And yeah, so that's it. It was a really good day, and market overall seems pretty amazing. So as you see here, again, my screen, you see that really NVIDIA is getting into the choppiness environment, and you see unless this 195 is still up there, but the Atlas is also in the short term really doesn't show anything. Brian, what did you
you can
trade?
look at. Well, I traded basically we traded the same stock today. NVIDIA just gave a really nice opening range breakout. Probably the only difference between with your trade and my trade, I mean, the setup was the same, but I traded options on NVIDIA instead of trading the stock. So I traded the 187.50s, and basically the last partial I did was about twice the price that I got in for. So got a really good return on investment, as you do with options, if you're if you've got the direction right. Interestingly, you could put up, if you're showing your screen, you could put up the book map of Tesla, or the Atlas of Tesla right now, because it's showing more buying to the upside right now.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring
So
it
I've
here.
just took a bit of a long on that while you were talking.
Yeah,
It just looks
yeah,
looks very bullish to me.
yeah. So see again, it looks. Let me actually bring it here a little bit here. Um, so yeah, so you see here,
Price
this
action, the
47,
the
47.
charts look bullish, and the only thing is there's a level R3 at 417, about 417.40. But we've got a nice order at 417 there.
Market
Markets
Atlas,
are
guys,
still
doesn't give you
moving up.
all the time. Sorry, Brian. Yeah, so Tesla's
No,
Market
go ahead.
Atlas doesn't give you all the time. So it rarely gives you very clear signal. And it's very important that most of your indicators, guys, rarely give you any signal. And that's what you want. You don't want an indicator that constantly buy, sell, short, buy, sell. No, you gotta wait, maybe, three times a week, you get some really clear signal and you trade based on that. But market access, there's constantly things coming and going, but you have to be able to know when to take that trade, when your signal is very strong and you have confidence in that.
Yeah, I like to use a number of factors. I like to look at the price action on the stock. Like I like Tesla because it's making higher lows and higher highs on the chart. I look at the SPY and the Qs. They're both trending up. So everything's telling me that the Tesla, and then you look at Atlas, everything's telling me to Atlas, all and the indexes and the price action. Tesla's going higher right now. So you look for sort of multiple confirmations.
Exactly.
So we're going to go through 417 now.
So Mo is asking, so trading terminal has access to everything: scanner, real-time simulator, replay, funder account, and market atlas. And the price and replay, and the price on it is $99 per month, and the funder account is $299 if you want to do for entry. And again, we had a lot of funder account traders that are really taking a lot of profit. Even yesterday, I had a couple of $10,000 that we did. One of them, actually, Sopros here again. You can share my screen. You can see my email. Sopros is the one that it gets $10,000. And that's I actually messaged him and I said that I'd like to do an interview. And he said, Andrew, I will do a short testimony video later today for interview. It's up to you. So I'd like to do an interview with him. So I think Sopros is usually in the chat, inside the chat room. I don't know, maybe it's not YouTube, but it's really good practice. I think it's really, really good practice. Again, not that I want to try to sell you anything, but I think if you can't pass this funded account challenge, there's no way that you can trade in real time. If you pass this one, there's no guarantee that you can actually make consistent money because still there's some element of psychology in there. But even if you can't pass this one, I rarely doubt that anyone can actually take it to real trading. And Tesla, as you said, Brian, it just broke out toward 417. Yeah,
Yeah,
they took
I was
that.
just going to mention that Tesla really had just a really nice breakout move here. So again, I'm just trading for the 420 puts or 420 calls, I should say. So in just around $6 and selling here at $7.30, $7.30. SPY and the Qs are breaking out, AMD's breaking out, PLTR is breaking out.
Now we have
Everything
this big 420 on Tesla. See, that's a really nice favorite number by Elon Musk. It's the
There you
420.
go. So I'm actually trading. The CME have introduced more options, which kind of I don't like, but they've done it, and so now they have zero DTEs on some of the stocks that are heavily traded, like Tesla and NVIDIA. So now you have expiries today, which are zero DTEs, or is it February 9th? Is it? Yeah, you've got today expiries, you've got Wednesday expiry, and then you got Friday expiry. Whereas used to be with Tesla and NVIDIA, you just had Friday expiry dates. NVIDIA's joining the party now. So just remember, the closer you get to the expiry date, like if you're trading the February 9th, they're going to expire end of today. So there's almost no time value in those options. They really move just highly correlated to the price of the underlying. Whereas with the February 3rd, maybe not quite so much, February 13th, because there's still time value in the option. All right, you took Tesla. That was nice. Good one. Again, everything sort of lined up. Market index is strong. Price action looking positive, and Market Atlas confirming that the price is going to move higher.
So one question is that Mo Hussein is asking why there is no package for trading terminal and funded account. There is funded account. If you buy BBT Elite membership right now, I'll give you one free funded account. But trading terminal has to be a monthly recurring. I cannot sell you a lifetime package. Why? Because $20 per month goes to NASDAQ per user per month. So I cannot sell you a lifetime membership. I would if I could. But since everybody's using it forever, I gotta send money to NASDAQ. They have a reporting after the number of users, they audit you and everything. It has to be a monthly recurring. Like some of their competitors are selling you a lifetime license, like $2,000, but they're still charging you $40 per month for the data package because they have to. They have to send that money to the exchange. CME Group, $12. I think CME for the futures is $12 per month we have to pay. NASDAQ is $20. So if someone has both, I got almost $40 monthly goes to them for the distribution right, which is crazy. You think this data shouldn't be, but that's their intellectual property. But what you can do is, again, Carlos is sharing it. Just buy 1 year of Elite annual membership. You get access to one funded account. Whenever that you want, you can activate that one. And you don't have to do any of these, guys. Also, these are all suggestions of your path. You don't, Thor never did a funded account, but he's a good trader. Megan never did a funded account. Brian never did a funded account, but you can also learn different ways. But that's something that is a good test for your skills. And this
Man, I
piece
can
of
say I
code.
wish I had done a funded account though, when I first started. I mean, everyone knows I burned my first account while I was learning to trade. Don't think I didn't blow myself up a couple times. It would have been nice to do that with somebody else's money. So
Yeah.
just saying, preserve your capital, put it in, like if you have 100,000, putting in something that'll earn interest for a year, and then just get it funded through Andrew. And I really like what you're saying there about, think about the data you're paying. That can change over time. So, a trading terminal, of course you can't do that. I mean, it's awesome.
So how was New York tour? You were in New York getting a tour of NYSE with Dr. Vanessa and Nathan.
Yeah, took Nathan and the doctor to go hang out with the Einstein. He's going to be out in Vegas hanging out with us also, right? So it was a good chance just to go say hi and hang out and learn as much as I can about this fun market making process that they do.
Nice, that's amazing. Hopefully one day we go and actually do the ring ourselves.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
I'm I'm so interested in being a
I'm
part of the
working on
BBT
it. I'm
IPO. Let's
working
do
on it.
this.
No, not the BBT, but Trading Terminal has the option. I think
Oh yeah.
TradingView did that. TradingView, even you don't need to do even IPO. Like if you become a partner with them, like Nasdaq, like DAS did it. Like they're not a public company, but if you become a partner with
Yeah,
Nasdaq, like we are actually, like it's been 3, 4 months that we have a partnership with them. So if you build that partnership with them, they allow you to do the closing. Not NYSE, but the Nasdaq, I can see, in a year or
That would
so,
be
all
that would
of
be
us are there.
fun. I've never been to the Nasdaq, so that would
It's
that would
not as crazy. It's not as crazy as NYSE. I think Brian came. Like NYSE has
yeah,
a floor. I think Nasdaq is more like there's no floors, all computers. So
that's
yeah.
fun though. Still like to see it.
Yeah,
Sounds a
it's not
blast.
like old school like it's not like old school like the NYSE where you go in and there's a big the trading floor, even though it's not that active anymore, and they have the bell and everything and all the history at NYSE. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, the Nasdaq's also great because they take pictures and then you go out in Times Square and then all the pictures they took of you at the on the closing bell, they flash it up on the screen, so your mug's plastered up there in Times Square. So you get that Andy Warhol moment, couple minutes of
Yeah,
fame.
right.
all right, guys. I want to thank again Jared. Very much appreciated for covering for Peter. It was really good. Megan also did amazing on Friday. So I'm considering asking Peter to not come back because
Just stay in Aruba.
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We are
We
trying
should
to
we
do
should at
something.
least give him a hard time about that.
I know, yeah, we
Yeah.
replace you with AI and Jared.
Yeah,
I'm just
could be
kidding.
a
I'm just
worse
kidding.
place
Well,
to
thank
get
you guys.
stuck.
I'm gonna hand it over to you guys.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh
Cheers,
my
everyone.
God, that
Have a
was
good day.
hilarious.
There's Peter
Oh
getting off
my
my lawn.
God. Oh my
Uh,
God.
Friends, let's do a funded account before we give it off to Thor, my friends. Let's do that. So hashtag funded in chat is open. And we will do that before we get going. So
Yeah, go
hashtag
ahead,
funded.
sir. Hashtag
Yeah.
funded everybody for the funded account giveaway. Remember perks, right? Go to our Lambos and garbage. Do they get perks, Carlos, if you're a Lambos
Oh
and
yeah, they get videos
yeah,
every week that we're putting on YouTube.
yeah.
They get access to Thor emoji face, right? Of course, you get access
Oh,
to that.
see, which is the only thing you need access to. I mean,
So it's a bunch of
screw
stuff
everything
that
else.
they get there.
No,
So
you
yeah,
get Peter emoji face too. If you want Peter to stay as a part of the pre-market show, put in Peter emojis. If not, it's
yes,
Jared. I mean, that's all there is to it. So I can say like I always love Jared's like his analytics and the way his brain sees things on like more of a like the time frame in which he sees things and the way he can understand the options that blend in with that. I always like every now and again I'll just start listening to Jared and I'm just like, God, man, does this guy know his shit? I mean,
yeah,
wow. You know what I mean? Like, dang, man. So if you guys, I mean, I used to love engineering in the markets when he was doing that in the morning, like just crushing, you know, because you're like every day you're just like, all right, I know what's going on. So
yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you, Thor.
Oh, I didn't know he was still on the microphone. I wouldn't have said nice things about him. Damn it.
That's why I put
Take
on
it
like he's
back.
still
Take
here.
it back.
Take it all back.
Oh boy.
Oh man, but yeah, man, it was so fun. Jared and I, for everyone who don't know, actually started a trading group together called BBT, which stands for Ball Brothers Trading.
Mhm.
Oh wait, no, it's Bearable Traders. I'm just so sorry.
It's an inside group. It's a subset of
A
BBT.
subset, a sub
It'll
very.
always be a subset of BBT.
So what happened is I used to have hair, and then Jared convinced me that your brain is like a supercomputer and you need proper cooling,
Mhm.
and that the hair just got in the way. So I was like, you know what? It makes sense to me, so I'm going with it.
When you
Sweet.
see little like attachments, that's the water cooling system or the oil cooling system. We'll have other attachments later.
Yeah, other
That
things on the BBT
that
store.
that is awesome.
Oh
All right, friends, here we go.
man! All right, are we
Free
doing this?
funded. Yeah, we're doing this free funded account, and just want to remind you again, if you guys do not want, if you don't win, you have the option to get a free funded account with an annual BBT membership exclusive for you guys over on X, and also on YouTube. So take advantage of that. And our members too. Our members are in chat. You know, if you haven't had a monthly, if you don't have an annual subscription, you can upgrade and you get access to that funded account as well. All right, here we go, friends. The winner for today is going to be, here it is for the funded account, going to Elizabeth Torosi. 70. So
Right.
congratulations, you are the winner. Send us an email, carlos@beartraders.com. We will get you all set up with that free funded account. Congratulations. And again, we're going to do it again tomorrow and the rest of the week. So make sure you tune in, become part of the Lambos and Garbage Truck family, and you get access for a chance to win. All right, I'll lead you to it, Thor. Jared, thank you so much for joining, man, today and helping us out in the morning. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time.
Not a problem. Thanks, Carlos, and congrats to all the CoreWeave bulls. We did it. We did a good job.
Oh, yes, we did, man. Yes, we did. Congrats.
All right. See y'all next time.
See you next time. But that was fun. Yeah, I'm just sitting here in my choppy NVIDIA short. So thanks NVIDIA for that. But we actually had a really nice R4 higher wider call on NVIDIA. So I really love the setup. I entered it at the new low after it exhausted in our volume and it, but it exhausted, but we haven't really found sellers since. So we're just kind of chopping here. And I think that probably has something to do with the market is, a little hot right now. So, we're still we're still pushing and trying to get up into a better area of premium on the market. So if we can sell, we can. And most of our sell attempts so far have been absorbed. So the market itself is although it's kind of overclocked a bit, it's still trying, to get a bit of a push going. So we're kind of waiting to see that. But anyway, I'm in NVIDIA and I've been in NVIDIA for, since about 950. So, and that's probably going to be my only trade for the today. I mean, I don't see any other really good ones. PLTR also alerted, but I did not like PLTR as much for the long on this one because ATR high was really close to R4 for me. So I would expect this one to be a little choppy with having that ATR high in the way. PLTR especially responds very well to ATR high. So I really didn't like PLTR. So far NVIDIA is still my ticker. Oh, we just had an alert on AVGO. So we'll go take a look at this one. Yeah, for me, NVIDIA is still a sell here, Tyler. So I'm still interested. I hate AVGO for a long right here, just looking at the chart. It has been buying, which I like, but I do not like being at monthly R3 and being over ATR high already. So I would not take this one long. So we will come off of that. Back to NVIDIA. ONDS, and then let me look at Hood and then ONDS. I like Hood, but I don't like it here. See what I mean about ATR high? ATR high is a baller level. You can see how we're getting hung up on it right now, but for Hood, I want to be a little higher. I want to go get through 89. Let's see how the book looks. So for reading the order book, I like to use tradingterminal.com's Market Atlas, which, is becoming the new hot way to like check it out. Obviously, there's other visual order books out there, but they all, Market Atlas is coming to kick some butt. I just got done working with developers actually on Atlas a few days ago before I left for the weekend to go to the NYSE, which, maybe in a little bit we can talk about that. But I was chatting with them and we went through it and we're hopefully going to have a really nice version of CVD that's going to be released really quick. So that's cumulative volume delta. So like basically since the ticker starts trading, if we've been buying more or selling more, right? So right now, if you're looking at Hood, right now Hood is very bullish as far as its nearby book. But look, there's a really big order gap here. And then not a lot above that. So this is a good spot. This for Hood, again, very difficult for me to long because even with the strong order book, it doesn't look like we're going to get from 88.50 to 90. There's a gap here that I don't like. So we likely are going to fade 88. And we do have some decent structure to the town side. But for me, because the order book is bullish, I really don't want to short against it. It just doesn't seem like it's ready to go up. So for me, for Hood, it could be a long, but I don't know. I'm really not. It's a higher, wider range. I mean, so it could be a short, but it would have to be off of 89, right? So see, here's 88, 88, 50, and we basically go up into this void and then capitulate. Right. Hey, welcome, Mick, USMC, I assume, Marine. Thank you for your service and welcome. So let's go look at, hey, I don't have ATR on your chart. Brian, are you using TradingView? Or are you using, what platform are you using? OND, and then let's go look at ONDS. The entry was based on volume. So I have a very small list of things that it takes to get me into a trade, right? So for me to get in, oh, nice. So if you want ATR, you're going to look for, and then I'll come back to that. It's adaptive ATR limits is what you're going to be typing in, Brian. That'll get you your ATRs, and then when you go to configure them, make sure to settings, and you're going to use basic. And make sure your ATR is 14. I think this setting is the default setting. And that'll get you there. Of course, my pleasure. So back to this, watching this paint dry. Yeah, I would still be very interested in going short here. So since you're offering just on top of the bid, I would like to see it kick in to do some real selling here. But I mean, you can see like we spiked here and we've just stopped. It really should not go higher than these wicks. So, but my criteria for getting into a trade is one, I have an alert. Two, my volume is either exhausted or offering to the sellers, right? And then three is an entry signal, which is a new 1 minute low, right? Marking a premium area, right? So I had the line. It looked like we were exhausting. We deviated from volume when we went up, and then we made the new 1 minute low, right? And that's what got me in. That's it. That's all I really consider. Right, the order book was bullish, but having a bullish order book won't stop me from shorting higher, wider ranges. Right, but it is something I require to go long on a narrow range. Right, I need to have a bullish book if I'm going long. Right, but if I'm going to fade, Nvidia is always bullish. Right, so all of your shorts on Nvidia are going to be against a bullish book. The lines on ATR, I don't think mine are here. If you want to trade hub, you can just go to my website, my personal site. It's Market Alchemist. It's where I do all of my all of it. There's an indicators link there that'll show you and kind of talk about everything. And then it's also where you can get to my mentoring and also my partners mentoring, Dr. V. So any questions you have, let me know. You can also find that on my IG for those of you who are more internet savvy and don't want to go to a website. You can also go to my Thor Young IG or Thor Young MA on IG, and you can check that out. Thor, question, if you get an alert on Qs and not NQ, will you trade NQ or not? Nah. No, it has to be an alert on the contract. Just because it's not really about whether it works or not, it's about the ability to create repetitive behavior. Right? So for me, I won't take it just because there's not an alert. Right? Like the only reason I'm trading NVIDIA right now because it has an alert. Right? It's the only thing other than PLTR I didn't like, AVGO I didn't like the volume. NVIDIA is the only one that has alignment for me. Right. I also liked this about NVIDIA. So if you notice right here, when we bought here, we had a high, then we offered it and sold, came back and sold. So we obviously found a really good seller here. So I marked that high, and we also tried to buy it before and rejected it. So look where that lined up. Right? Look how we ran right for that, right? So that's pretty beautiful. Ah, thanks, Brian. I love that. Right? It's not about how many trades you get, right? It's just about good hits. Right? Because my target on this is going to be a movement all the way back down to almost 185. I'm going to try and get this whole day back, right? Or I'm hoping or thinking maybe when we waterfall here, if we waterfall, that we'll get a melt back to the previous day's close. Right, and that's what I'm holding out for. We'll see what happens. We've been having a lot of trouble finding a good. Oh, I've been short, but it is not going well. But it's not going poorly either. Right, I'm in from here. My stop's here. Right, my target is here. It's a little over a 4-to-1. It's about a 5 or 6-to-1. So, but I'm still waiting for my seller. And I think the seller's I think we're still waiting because the market has just continued to be a little bit too stout. But I mean, the market's has lost its uptrend for the most part. So I think we could roll over here, but I'm not going to be able to play any futures today by the way we're going. Because the only play I would play would be R4 short. And that's going to take such a long time to get there. I mean, I just don't got that kind of time in my life. So we see if NVIDIA is our dance partner today. I think if NVIDIA stops, it'll probably just be my only trade for the day. I wouldn't say short SPY, although it may be. I mean, I'm hoping SPY goes short soon. That would certainly help my NVIDIA trade. But it's not in a range where I would like to short it because it's a little bit in the middle. So it's going to be a really choppy short. Do I think gold can get to R4? Sure. Yeah, it can. I mean, it's at a monthly level right now, so I don't know if it will, but it certainly could. I need a seller on NVIDIA. Where's my sellers at? I think it's happening. Hold on. This I feel it. I can feel the vibe. So we had this really large engulfing buy, and we could not get anyone to buy its premium. And we've offered its mid-level, and we have now failed to find a buyer there. So we're going to offer its bid. And you can see we found oh, let me get a little closer. There we go. See this bid right here? That guy. So you can see we bought, right? But so any of those like understanding value concepts, just a little quick thought. So basically you can see right here on this big candle, right, that this creates a value area, this big buy. You really shouldn't lose its consequence encroachment, right, which was the 50% area, the value. So we offered it and then we couldn't buy premium. We then offered it again and then went all the way down to its bid. That's a very weak price action. We then pulled back up and couldn't go back to highs and then came back down and offered the bid again, right? But you can see, look, this sell came right off the mid-level, right? So if we make a new low here, right, we're going to completely close this candle and we're going to fill it basically and then make new lows. Yeah, I'm probably using leverage in this short trade. I mean, I don't know. I'm only risking $1,000 per trade. So it's only but it's almost 500 shares of NVIDIA. Where did I short? Right here. Right there. Stops up above 194. Targets previous day's close. So now look how look how we came back up to offer. We're actually I mean, we just haven't kicked in the selling. Come on. Let's see here. The importance of IB high and low. Sure. So IB is initial balance range. I'm short like at like just under 193. I think my average cost is technically 192.76. So your IB range is your 1 hour high and your 1 hour low, which since it's already 11, that would be high of day and low of day, right? So if we break high of day, like I would not short basically, because what IB stats on NVIDIA say is if we break high of day at this point, that it's only like maybe 1 out of every 10 days or less that we would actually like have any kind of significant reversal. Yeah, leverage is of course, leverage is a beautiful thing. I know that leverage can be scary for some, but it's not scary for me because I have a fixed risk amount that I will not ever lose more than, right? So for me, it's like, I have a pretty decent sized trading account. So it's not like 10 millions or whatever like Andrews is, right? But it's good enough that I can sling a K worth of risk and not be too bothered by it, right? So I just wish we would sell already. I mean, we're offering into the bid. We can't quite get it to happen, but it would be nice. But I think we're just chopping because the market's just not in a good place to sell yet. I think it's waiting. I think the algo's waiting for more order flow to the downside. I still really love this trade. Like I'm so happy with this trade, whether this works or not. It's a lovely example. So it's a good time. Let me look at AMD. Yeah. I mean, AMD, uh, it's a narrow range. It's a very wide, narrow range. So if you were going to, I would not long this, even though it's a narrow range, because this is a very wide, but I mean, monthly support 3, ATR high, R4 all together. I mean, that's a lot of correlation. So, I mean, you could maybe look at a short setup around 218. How's the order book on AMD? Looks like it's bullish. Oh yeah, it is. So AMD knock for AMD. Well, maybe not. So notice here we have a bullish order book, but notice all the buy dots are not moving the price up. We've got big buy dots, but we're not moving. So this seems a bit trappy. So, so basically anytime someone large is buying, Atlas is showing you that those buys are being absorbed. So this would insinuate distribution. The only issue we also have though is that our sells are not moving the price down. So it's kind of like they're holding it here intentionally, basically. They're distributing into the big orders, but they're not letting the small sells take the price down the book. So it looks like right now it wants to stay here. So see, like there was a big sell, but it didn't send that to the book, which it should have. So something's going on here. They're holding up. So like that sell easily could have moved the price, but these buys easily could have moved the price. So there's some indecision here. This order is very large. It would be surprising to see them run away from 216 without giving it a test. 216 is right here, right at the high, right? So that's what happened here. We ran into this really large order and they absorbed into it and distributed it into it. And then the price fell off, but we haven't started selling and we didn't really exhaust. So AMD actually looks like it has some upside potential. So I would wait to see if AMD can bust through to R4, then maybe see what happens there. Got to be a little patient on this one. It still looks a little bit strong. Tesla. Higher narrow range. I'm not in love with it for a long, but the call would be a long. It would be an R4 breakout to R6. I mean, it's bullish. Back to 420, huh? No surprise. So, I mean, maybe see if it runs out to R4 and then see what happens. But I don't know. Tesla's actually like not been the world's greatest trader for me lately. But yeah, I'd look for an R4 play on this one, either a breakout or a reversal there. I'm just going to sit here in NVIDIA. ONDS? Oh, I don't think I've ever looked at that ticker. Look at the capitulation right at R4. It seems like the cam algo likes it. Oh, look, we have ATR high right at R4. So it was a reversal play. It's a higher narrow range, so I wouldn't call it, but this is a reversal setup. Look how we exhausted our buyers and then re-offered and then started selling. And this has actually gone into selling. Like this is what I want from NVIDIA. I want NVIDIA to get down into here and start selling. So far the day is very boring. I'm in NVIDIA short. It's the only trade I've taken today. Wicked. And I'm still in it. So I mean I got high hopes. but high hopes, but low expectations. Yeah, Lex. So on Atlas, I kind of change it around a little bit. So the first thing that I do, Lex, is go to where it's here in the middle, anywhere, and just double left click, pop pop. And that resets the chart, kind of. And then for config, I just use the defaults 1, 0, 100. Like none of that I change. What I will do is depending on the ticker's price, like this is a $400 ticker on Tesla. So I don't need to look, at like 1 cent intervals, right? So I'm gonna aggregate over 10 levels. And time, we will have it so that as you zoom in and out, it will auto aggregate, kind of similar to the way other order books, visual order books do. Um, so that's, we'll have to kind of see. How high will Tesla go today? Nobody knows. Well, I mean, yeah, you can't trade hope. But I'm not. Well, yeah, so Wicked, that's kind of my thing, right? Like if Tesla doesn't work today, or not Tesla, I mean, if NVIDIA doesn't work today, I don't care. I have a beautiful entry on a call from my system, right? I entered it exactly the way I want to enter it. I had all the signals I needed to enter it, right? So that's it, right? Like everything that happens after I get in is completely out of my control, right? And that's one of the things like, you have to be really cautious with as an active day trader is not to hyper manage your trades. Right? Like and this comes with momentum trading, it can happen, maybe even more so. Because you got to remember, I'm more of like an intraday swing trader, right? I'm much more comfortable just sitting and holding a position that's chopping around like this than most, I would imagine, right? But I've found that I make the most money when I do nothing, right? I want to be very picky about when I get in, and I have a very set signal criteria, but they're very short, right? So like in order for me to execute a trade and get in, all I need is an alert from my cam system, right? It sends me an alert. Once I look at it, I need the volume to be exhausting, right? And then struggling, I need my volume signal, right? And then I need my entry pattern, right? Which is that I get the new 1 minute low after I have my exhaustion. So my exhaustion happened here. We then pushed for a few minutes and we actually made less volume on that push, right? So that big push right there should have brought more volume. It didn't. So when we made that low, I got short and threw my stop above the box with a little despair. But still can't get our sellers. Bleh. Anyway, nice. The market's still trending up a bit, so I think that might work. Oh man, T-Trader New York was a blast. Man, got there on Thursday and ended up going to a Rangers game. It's their centennial. So ended up going to a Rangers game. Check out my IG if you want to see. There's a picture at the game there. And then on Friday spent from about 9 in the morning till about 2:30 in the afternoon down at the NYSE. So just learning all about the stuff. So as I do, it's, I mean, I've been there like a half dozen times, maybe more. So stayed in a really nice hotel, which was a lot of fun. Definitely the nicest hotel I've ever stayed in. So, which I really enjoyed. And then yeah, and that's it. Then just kind of chilled out for a couple of days. So didn't do a whole lot actually. Really just some fun, ate some good food. Tried this Thai restaurant that was amazing. Previous day's close on NVIDIA. I'm looking for a movement back to PDC. I also did hilarious. You guys got to go to my IG. Come on, share it. Like, help me out here. Like, I finally managed to make a reel. Like, I finally managed to actually make a reel. Look, I did the. I'm not mature. But come on. I mean, that's pretty fun, right? I was totally wanting to do that. So when I was at the NYSE, I waited for the bell to ring. So that's an actual bell ring sound from an actual bell ringing, right? And then I put it in there. So, but if you're bored, like a little toilet time, pop by and like and share it because it makes me happy. Oh my God. It's so true though. Like there's just something about the NYSE bell when you hear it go off, you're just like, ah, history. You know what I mean? It's so good. Um, APLD is doing the best. Any thoughts on this one? APLD. APLD. Are you currently long APLD? So if you are on APLD, if you are long, I would stay long for now. Um, just because you had this really strong dip and they exhausted the sellers. We totally ran out of sellers. And then we offered lower and deviated. So this actually looks kind of strong right now. But you're above the ATR high and you're in a monthly selling range now. So I wouldn't hold too much longer. If it goes like maybe like for me, like I mean I wouldn't give back more than like 38% on the retracement. So like if you lose ATR high and then make a significant new low, I'd say that'd be good enough to give out to get done and just be out of it. If you're gonna shorting would be very difficult. I would only feel comfortable shorting from very, very high. Otherwise, on this one, I'd probably just leave it long. Like maybe just put your final take profit there and just leave it because I'm not convinced if it makes new lows, it really sells off really well, like a big reversal. Let's look at the book on it. APLD. First time ever looking at APLD's order book. Now, because this ticker is a $30 ticker, I often will let it, 10 levels is still pretty good, but we could go down to 5 levels for aggregation, right? So you can see we have a really large order at 38.70. And then if we zoom out a little bit here, you can see there's an even bigger one up here, but there's a lack of structure to that big order. So it is possible. But right now, that big order is going to show a lot of intention. So 38.70 is right around here, right at the monthly level, right? So, but right now, I would stay long towards that big order. I mean, they transacted it, they distributed into it, and then they brought on more. So they may go up and buy again and then sell it. So maybe get out if it starts to, oh, actually, yeah. So this actually just reoffered to the sell side and is starting to sell a bit. So if this rejects here and makes a new low here, maybe get out. I think that would be good enough reason to get out. And then if it pulls back to R4 and holds, you could go short off of here somewhere using the high of day. It should not reclaim high. If it sells off and makes a new low here, I would not expect it to make a new high here necessarily. Now that kept in mind, why I'm saying this might not be a good short, let's check edge full. Right? My system and how I trade is completely based on statistics. Right? So sometimes even if it looks like it's a short, I won't take it short. Right? Let's see. We're going to do the IB report. We're going to do it on stocks, and we're going to do it on what the hell was this thing called? APLD. APLD. Right? So we single break 80% of the time on this. And we no break only like 10% of the time. So you have to think like it's very unlikely, if we sell from here because we already broke it, well, that's our single break. It's already happened. So double breaks aren't very likely, but we have a lot of room between here and a double break. So if you are going to go short, target ATR lower the CP, I think would be a good spot. And then NVIDIA is just being a choppy mess. But I mean, we're finally on NVIDIA we're finally moseying down into our sells. Right? We're starting to sell a little bit. We're actually we've offered to the buyers and we've been buying pretty much this whole area, but you can see we've just been exhausting to the downside. We're just dwindling. Right? But now we've actually come back up and we're actually getting into the low areas. So the BS detector is now reading, more downtick than uptick right now with volume. So it's really kind of liking the idea that we're really struggling here to find buyers. So we're kind of at that moment of truth for NVIDIA. It won't be able to hang out here much longer. I just think the issue it's still having is this. Qs are almost to ATR high. Right? So once Qs gets to ATR high, we'll see if an algo hits ATR high. You can see Q's already exhausted here, right? And it's been pushing right now on very weak volume. So this looks like a struggled offer to ATR high. I would expect to see an algorithm hit that and then see what happens on the volume. If an algorithm hits ATR high here on Q's and we get a big sell, NVIDIA will waterfall, right? Because it's been chopping premium, waiting. NVIDIA could have broken out, right? Think of it that way. Right? Like NVIDIA has had plenty of time and plenty of volume to go break out. They've decided to not do that. Right? It could have went and made a new high of day. No, Stephen, the opposite. The vast majority of tickers, the vast majority of tickers will actually continue throughout the day. Reversals tend to set up earlier. So like this reversal set up within, at like 9:49, and we haven't made a new high of day after 10:30, right? And that particularly helps me here, right? Because NVIDIA has an insanely high IB rate, right? Look at NVIDIA. The buying and selling detector is a custom indicator. It's of my own design, and it uses some very interesting things to read volume. So it's basically like volume weighted tick. Which is really pretty freaking special. See what I mean? We have a 72% IB break, 15% no break, right? So we've got a pretty strong stat that if we start moving down much lower, I could even think about maybe getting a bigger move out of this. Like this could go R4 to S4 today. Like you never know how low these things can go, right? So, but if it breaks high of day, for instance, and stops me out, I would not get back in. Because after it breaks high of day after 10:30, there's too much there's not enough there. So, pain in the butt. It's a really good trade. Well, Gamma, what do you mean? can you demo your cam system indicator? What's that mean? Like, can I do it? Because that's what I was just doing. In video, so annoying right now. It's just stuck in this value area. I just need cues to get higher. Like, can we just hurry up? Oh yeah, of course. So I have a book. It's called A Complete Day Trading System. Ta-da! It was published in 2022. Based on a system that my own trading system that I've been using for why do you expect NVIDIA to reverse if it's past? I don't. If anything, the reversal should happen before it. If it makes a new high a day afterwards, the IB stats say NVIDIA is more likely to stay on that side of the chart, right? So my book is basically my trading system, and it's all outlined. I've been using it for, I mean, quite a while. I mean, 6 years, 7 years, or something like that, right? And using it in the same way, which is really fun. And so what I do is my book and the concepts behind that book were coded into I had coded into TradingView, right? So and it actually gives you alerts, right? So today I've only had 3 alerts today of tickers that fit my entry, my criteria for me to observe them. NVIDIA has been the only one that gave me an entry signal that I was willing to take. Right. So I'm still just waiting, I'm just waiting to see what happens. Right. So NVIDIA is chopping this value range here. Basically, I think it looks like it's distributing a bit, but it keeps finding buyers. So it's, the market's still strong. So I think that's the main thing that's hurting this is QQQs aren't selling yet. Steven, not to my book. I'm not going to revise the book, but I am going to release a new book, probably this year, I would imagine, hopefully maybe by summer. And I haven't come up, it's going to be like a complete day trading system simplified or something like that, with futures. So it'll have like some information on it, like how it works, but basically it's going to be a smaller book, so it's not going to have the VPA stuff, it's not going to have the order book reading stuff, it's not going to have all that. It's just going to be basically like a small one. I mean, it'll be like, a lot less because it's going to be a lot smaller, but it'll be updated with all of the new graphics and like settings and some stuff like that'll be in it. But that's it. I mean, none of the strategies have changed in any capacity since that. The only thing that I've really changed is like profit targeting and stuff like that and how I choose profit targets. But that's not a change really because I explained all of it in my book. So it's just going to be like a condensed version of a complete day trading system. So more like, easier. And then I'm also working on a futures book, which I think Dr. V and I are going to do that one together, as co-contributors to help put together the futures book. So that should be a lot of fun. Y'all should have seen her in action, man. Dr. V got Peter Tuchman liked her a lot, which was awesome, and he ended up doing an interview with her on the main balcony for like 30 minutes. Just remember her when she was, not famous and slumming it with us, right? I think she's going to be Dr. Wall Street one of these days. She's going to take over the whole damn thing. So if you haven't worked with her or you don't, I mean, go to our website, marketalchemist.org. She partners in my mentoring community that, if you're, she does one-on-ones. And I mean, if you're going to work with a psychologist, an actual PhD psychologist, not a performance coach, right? But an actual psychologist that is actually a trader, right? And knows how to trade and has gone through the process of becoming a trader and didn't just quit, right? I'm very interested to see how many of these performance coaches tried trading and have not been able to become successful at it. Yet they're going to try and teach you how to be a performance coach. Or they're going to teach you how to do that. And they're going to write psychology books, even though they don't have PhDs in psychology, which is actually kind of a miss hit right there, a little false advertising, I think. So I think it's, really important to make sure that if you're going to work with someone and let them work on your head game, that they should have a credential like a PhD that says they know how to do that, not just someone who's been watching TikTok videos and reading books. Right. So me, I don't like, which is why I don't mess with that stuff. I'm going to teach you how to trade cams and I'll teach you good performance. But I mean, once you get to a certain point, if you can't execute, it's not me anymore. That's why I have I'm not sure. I'm going to I will post on my social, at Thor Young MA. I will share that whenever it becomes available. So I think we're just, because it has to be edited, I would assume. So, but Dr. V will be here Wednesday, from 11 to 12 per usual. So it'd be a good chance for us to talk to her about it and see how well, hopefully we'll have some information at that point. So, and we wait. Boring. I mean, I don't think we have anything. How's our BTC futures? Everything was on a higher, wider range. So I needed this thing to sell so I could buy the dip. But everything just kind of squeezed. Ooh, where's RTY? Oh, wow. I mean, RTY is finding a seller. NQ still just very hot, very strong. Still buying. So this is why we can't get a good sell going on NVIDIA. We don't have market alignment on this one. Man, the S3 buy would have been beautiful. CL gonna come to save the day? All right, then. That's fun. I like the alignment. We'd go back to the CP maybe. All right, so our price action going on right now is very, very strong. And we did increase our volume, but this is very nice. I am going to watch because we are kind of exhausting our buyers here. I would definitely say it's too late to buy into SPY right now. I would be very concerned buying SPY. All right, I mean that's a good spot for crude. Look at the lovely and cam interaction here, like almost right into it to the penny. We wick this thing. We're exhausting here. We've got an isolated pivot here with a new low here. I mean that's fun. Yep, I do both. I'm still in NVIDIA. I'm short NVIDIA still on the equity side. Just seeing if this market, I mean, it does seem like we're having a lot of trouble with this value area to the top side, which which is good for me. It's going to seem like it's going to take a lot of work for them to buy. Our premium, let's go back to NVIDIA here. Yeah. So we're having a lot of trouble buying, right? And we can't get new buyers in very well either. Even when we bought here, look, that didn't buy premium. It just stopped at it. We then offered premium and then sold. So we actually looked like we're selling pretty good. So we'll see how it goes. Still holding this thing. 5 minutes left. No, it's not a stock. CL isn't a stock. The CL is crude futures. So I trade futures and stocks. So CL is crude futures. So anything you'll notice on my watch list whenever I'm clicking things, like you'll see that I keep it like in a category there. So I like that crude is exhausted up here. It would be nice to see a really big seller hit. But it's a higher, wider range. It's right at R4. I mean, it's in a great spot to look for a possible short. Yeah, Tuckman uses classic pivots more so. RLW. I don't use Bookmap at all anymore. I use Atlas. But when I use Atlas, I mean it for index futures, it works for sure, and they work great. For stocks especially. But I prefer me more so. I'm really more concerned with the range and then the volume. But I like seeing the book because that gives me a lot of considerations. Back to NVIDIA. Oh, one moment. Sorry. I gotta mute real quick. All right. Sorry, I'm back. Phone call from my mother had a little bit of a fall thing, so she was calling to give me an update on it. All right, AVGO. Let me take a look at it, and then we'll call it a day. Oh, AVGO was nice. It was a trending breakout. It called. Very nice. So it was buying. So I would have liked we bought the level, offered and then bought above it right there, re-offered and made a new high. I'd probably be in somewhere right around there with my stop below the box. Aiming, and my target would be like R6. So sweet. All right, everybody. I hope everyone had a great time today. Throughout the week, we'll have we'll have a lot more fun talking about trading and all that stuff. So don't forget, if you have any questions, you can always come and hang out. I do have a webinar going on tomorrow where I'm going to be talking about using the visual order book to trade futures. So I hope you all have, maybe for any of you BBT members, certainly be there. And if you're looking for a reason to sign up, could be one. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Keep it green, peeps. Bye.